Is enjoying his day so far as Aaron Walsh taps that one over the bar for another point for Ball. 1-5 plays a goal.
Yeah, you can see when the guy's on for him, the referee, we didn't know whether he was going to throw up the ball or not, but immediately Jack Hart was on the move, and certainly a great goal chance, unlucky not to get it, but we're getting the scores on the board at the moment.
Great mark taken for Westport, and Mark Moran has the ball and he delivers a quick ball inside as Patrick McLaughlin's playing in front of Michael Brady, trying to keep Pat Lambert in trouble, but the referee's playing an advantage and he says there was none to be had, so it's going to be a free for Westport from a scoring position, and if Westport can get a score, it'll be their first score, Kevin, for almost 20 minutes, and you'd have to feel that as the game progresses into the closing stages of this first half, any score they get any scoring opportunity they get has to be taken.
Absolutely, Tom. Every score now we get from now on has to be counted, and especially a free like this inside the 13, the calibre of Pat Lambert, it should be an easy enough task for him, and get a score on the board and push pressure on the next kick out and try and get our hands on the ball again and push forward.
Knocked over well by Pat Lambert, captain for Westport today. So a 4-point game. Jerry Ball might feel they should be further ahead. Their forwards have been in good form when they get the ball.
Yeah, that's a free now from Pat Lambert will, I'd say, settle Westport a small bit, because they have been a bit panicky, they have been rushing their shots, and certainly I think we should be 3 or 4 more points ahead, but we're still playing very well, and it's still a very enjoyable game.
A fantastic catch taken by Killian Golding, who declines the mark and gets the ball moving again, looking to deliver a high ball into Aaron Walsh. Aaron Walsh splits the two Westport defenders and gets the ball. There was no call from neither Peter Carty or Kevin Maguire, but the shot there is blocked down from Rian O'Connor, and Peter Carty can come away with the ball, who's just come on the field as a substitution for Luca O'Reen, who's picked up an injury. Westport have only one forward inside the 21, and it's a numbers game at the moment. In the middle of the field there's players running, but there's a free man in the middle if they can find him, and that's Owen McLaughlin, who's driving forward, and he has a runner outside, but the hand pass was just off target, and James Tracy couldn't gather it in, and holding up is Patrick McLaughlin of Ball, but it's a free, and in a similar position to the one that Pat Lambert knocked over a moment ago, and you'd be hoping if he taps this over, Kevin, it'll only be a 3-point game.
Yeah, small bit I suppose in discipline there from Patrick McLaughlin, but again, good turnover there at the backs from Peter Carty, and it's good to see him getting his hands on the ball early and give him great confidence.
Sean Riley letting Pat Lambert know where to take it from. Knocked one over just a moment ago from a very similar angle. There's a slight breeze picking up, as we can see from the flags on top of the media tower. The breeze is in Westport's favour, and that's a good score for Pat Lambert, and you feel that Martin Calvi will be encouraging his players to try and get a couple more, Kevin.
Yeah, definitely. We need the likes of Pat get on the ball, Mark Moran. Luke Tunney has been quiet enough so far. We need to get the likes of him, a little speedster inside. He could turn you as quick as a flash. So Westport just needs to keep getting their hands on the ball now. We're starting to turn the screw a small bit here, and 2 points registered on the board. So yeah, just keep hopefully driving forward.
It's noticeable that Pat Lambert has gone into the full forward position from centre forward. Trying to get scores is paramount, and he's your captain, the leader, Mayo Minor. He's the player that other lads will be looking to.
Exactly, you want your leaders, I suppose, and your captain up as high up the pitch and trying to get scores here as well. And he has plenty of company there in Patrick McLaughlin and Coulon Higgins. So try and keep them guys as close as their own goal as possible will be a great effect for Westport.
Ball get the free and trying to release Aaron Walsh in, but the ball was short this time, and Westport come away with the ball. It's the momentum is slightly with Westport, who've had 2 scores today, and that's a short number 12. Mark Moran gets a great score from a turnover, and we're back to a 2-point game, and that time Jerry Ball gave away possession badly.
Well, you see, in the past couple of minutes now, the last free that Pat Lambert scored, there was no need to foul anybody because they were out in the corner and facing away from goal. Give away a silly free. Now we turned over a ball, giving it in to, you see, Aaron Walsh being double marked at the moment inside the full forward line, so there's no point in hitting him with the ball.
A great mark taken there by Rian O'Connor, trying to release Shane Foy, but turned over for the 3rd turnover in a row for Westport. And if they can get another score, it'll be a 1-point game approaching half time, and they're driving forward in numbers. The ball in hands of Declan Shanahan. He comes inside, he's trying to find his captain, but wins his own break. Slightly high tackle. The referee has the hand up for the advantage is being played. He gets it onto his right foot, and that's 3 in a row for the captain. 3 in a row from Pat Lambert. Inspirational stuff.
Brilliant stuff. That's more like it. I suppose pattern of play over the last few games, so Westport starting slow and gradually build into the games, but we're really starting to get our hands around the middle on the ball here now, and it's 1 point in it, Tom.
Game on here at Elvery's McHale Park in the Minor A Football Championship Final, sponsored by JJ Burke's Renault of Ballinrobe. Niall Fadden goes long, but it's broken to Westport. Mark Moran, scorer of a goal and a point so far for Westport, gives it back to Kevin Maguire. Back to Moran. Nice flick up, pick up. Emmett Rowley trying to drive the Ball defenders back, releases it back to Moran, tried to sell a dummy and it touched it on the ground. He went for the shot, he went to sell the dummy, the ball hit the ground almost basketball style. He was trying to get the ball back to himself, but it's going to be a free out for Ball, which gives their defenders a bit of respite after the pressure that Westport have put on in the last few minutes, and it's turned into a very entertaining contest, and the crowd that are here watching are fully engaged with it. And there's a slight break in play as I think it's Ryan O'Connor needs his shoelace or his boot taped up. It looks like it. The black gaffer tapes come out as footballers, and I'm sure we've all had that moment.
We sure have, Tom, in fairness. As I said, a bad, great pressure there on Mark Moore, and left himself in a tight corner trying to sell a little dummy, and unfortunately touched the ball on the ground and free to Ball.
Bit of pressure in the last 4 or 5 minutes, Jerry, from Westport, and the Ball defence have to just tighten up a small bit or keep playing the way they're playing.
Well, I think we've put ourselves under pressure 2 or 3 times there, so I think what we need now is to get forward and get a score on the board.
Well cut out there by the full back Rory Brickenden in front of Jack Hart. They've made they've doubled up on Jack Hart with Kevin Maguire, and Rory Bricken is playing a sweeper in front of the two, and he sits back again and he wins that ball a second time. It was very optimistic from that far out the field, but given away badly by Westport, and they can go on the counter. A fantastic block again for Westport, and coming away having the ball, Michael Brady finds David Groden, goes outside and pops it back to the midfielder John Geraghty. Geraghty carrying the ball, met by big challenge by 24 Jack Hall, is held up, and there's bodies flying in and tackling. Good hard, great defending by the Ball defence, defending in numbers, but Westport keep possession of the ball, and they're trying to engineer a scoring opportunity, trying to find the man in the ball. But Pat Lambert says, no, I'm on having a go, but it's just gone to the white and wide. Good defending from the Ball forwards, but Westport patient in the build-up.
Yeah, it's good to see. Good bit of composure now. Ball have really flooded their defence with 12, 13 players behind the ball, but maybe Pat Lambert could have taken a better option, maybe come out and invite the Ball defence to come out and retrieve a bit, and maybe get us space inside for the likes of Luke Tunney and some boys slip in and get an easy score, but what wasn't to be.
27 minutes gone here in the final at Elvery's McHale Park. Mention from Kieran O'Brien, Kiwi Brian 67. Great service, ladies and gentlemen. Junior and minor finals in my living room in London. So we had viewers from Hawaii and Florida, and we have London today. We're international people. And we even had the last game, Jerry, we had a mention from your daughter in Australia.
Well, from my son Alan and from Alan in Australia, yeah, he was watching it.
Ball building now, turning right footed, kept the ball, turned over by Westport. Ball, referee says it was a free inside, so it's going to be a free out for Westport, even though they had possession of the ball in front of the stand. So Sean Riley says he wants the free taken from the right place. Kevin Maguire has the ball in his hand, quickly taking Dan Shanahan back to Maguire. Maguire met by Shea Benson. Ball turn it over, it's twisting and turning is Niall Barrett, and the referee said he was fouled as he tried to give the pass to Benson, so it'll be turned over for Ball, and it'll be an opportunity for Ball to engineer something, but they go all the way back to the centre back Patrick McLaughlin, being chased down by Luke Tunney. Kevin Kane going through his stretches here. I think he's waiting for the call.
I'd love to get a call, to be honest, Tom. But yeah, thankfully Westport now starting to get grips. Mark Moore on the ball there now, so hopefully we can get something off this. John Gurdy coming through strong there, so just see out get the next score, please God, and go in and maybe level at half time, which would be a great help for Westport going in the second half.
So from scores from around the county, as Westport are just going to build on the attack here. We have Mayo Gales 3 points, Louisburg 7, but Westport are trying to get a goal opportunity, but Ball defence is holding firm, but ball makes its way through to Thing, and he turns and snap shot on the turn. It's going to level the game up here at McHale Park in the Mayo Intermediate Football Championships quarter-final. Louisburg 7, Mayo Gales 3 points. And then we have a level game here in Ball, 1-5 for Ball, 1-5 for Westport, coming up to half-time. Conor Walsh will be probably the more unhappier of the two managers, given the damage that his forwards were doing early on, but the kick out has gone straight to the hands of Declan Shanahan. Comes in on his left foot and he swings that to the right and wide, and you'll have to say he, as we mentioned, Conor Walsh might not be too happy.
No, like we gave away an early goal. We had 20 minutes then of a near domination where we tacked on a 1-5 without reply. But in the last 5-7 minutes now, Westport are really on top, and we're finding it very hard to get the ball past the halfway line.
A great mark taken by Killian Goulding. Gives it to his midfield partner Benson. Drives away and releases the wing back Coulon Higgins. Comes inside. He's going to have a go with his left foot. It's going to drop short into the hands of Kevin Lavelle. Being hassled by Aaron Walsh. Turned over the ball and the goalkeeper is caught in no man's land. There was a defender back on the line, but Westport are playing with fire here in their own full back line. They've done it on a couple of occasions and they didn't pay the price that time. They managed to get away with it and they worked the ball eventually out to Owen McLaughlin. Trying to find Moran, but again a loose pass from Westport, and it's been one of the features of the first half has been the amount of times they've turned over the ball when they've been in possession of it. And Ball, the corner back, Thomas Reynolds, coming forward. He fancies a shot, and that's over the bar, and that gives Ball the lead with 30, just coming up to 31 minutes played in the first half, Kevin.
Yeah, it's disappointing score to give away there, especially on the brink of half time. Westport had the ball on numerous occasions there to come out of it, and unfortunately sloppy turnovers resulted in a score for Ball, and they go in 1-up at half time.
Thomas Reynolds, the corner back, it gives Ball a 1 point lead at half time as we hand over to Liam for half time.
So Kevin Kane, Thomas Reynolds after scoring a point for Ball against you. Not your Thomas Reynolds, I hope.
It's not the TR.
No, it's not TR. You can down beside me here, Kevin. Yeah. So we've got Paul Cunningham, the Mayo GAPRO, as well, is going to join us for a second here too, Paul. Paul, a lot of action around the county today. I'm sure you're keeping an eye on things.
Yeah, busy. Another busy weekend on the club scene, Liam. Absolutely, yeah. Obviously, intermediate games throw in there. 1 o'clock first game, Louisburg Mayo Gales. From what I can see, Louisburg are a couple of points up early on. You have a big game in Bacon, obviously, between Garrymore and Ballina, and then the 3 other quarter-finals in the intermediate. So between the intermediate, senior, and obviously the minor A here and the junior A later on, it's certainly another busy weekend on the club scene.
When will draws be made for the semi-finals?
There'll be a CCC meeting around 5:30 this evening. So the draws for the semi-final in both senior and intermediate will be made at that. And then the dates and times will all be released tonight, so clubs will know exactly what the state of play is.
And any confirmation yet on the Hollymount Carramore Ballinrobe replay?
No, more than likely Wednesday night, venue to be confirmed, but everything will be confirmed at that meeting later this evening.
Okay, Paul, thank you very much. Okay, that's Paul Cunningham, Mayo GAPRO. And now we have back to Kevin and Jerry again. Yeah, not TR got that point. It was a valuable point for Ball though, Jerry, because you had been under the cosh for a long while, but you've gone in 1-up. You're a lot more up earlier on, but there's something in that.
Yeah, I think that was a very important score for us before half time, because we had 10 minutes there where Westport totally dominated the game. We found it very hard to get the ball out of our own half. We had a lot of men back behind the ball, and instead of trying to hold on to it and play it through the middle, we were actually kicking long balls into the full forward line where players were being double marked. So we just lost our composure there for 5 or 10 minutes, but certainly the way we worked that last score with Killian Gould taking the mark, moving it on to Thomas Reynolds, and the finish from Thomas was fantastic for a corner back. It was a great finish.
You've a bit of power on the middle of the field.
Yeah, Killian Gould has taken 4 or 5 fabulous marks there and has shown great leadership, and Shea Benson has got on a lot of ball and has used most of it very well.
Kevin, what do you think?
Yeah, like Jerry said, Ball got off to a massive start, Liam, so Westport had to really rally and try and get themselves in order and get their house in order at the back. Jack Hart and Aaron Walsh there in the full 14 for Ball were absolutely lightning in the first 20 minutes, and as Jerry highlighted for the game, Jack Hart was someone to watch, and from viewing him on first half performance, he's very impressed me now, in fairness.
Yeah, he's very tidy. Ball moved the ball nicely when they get going.
Yeah, I mean, they've great pace in their half-back line, in their half-forward line, and Part Lahardane coming up from centre-back has given them the added spur on there, and the half-forward line with Renault O'Connor, and then into Jack Hart and Arden Welsh. There's great pace and great movement off the ball as well.
Okay, I'm going to see, can I check other scorelines around the countryside, around Mayo, the trusty Twitter list. Paul Biggins won the Kilmaine Lotto last night. He won 750 quid. Louisburger 7-4 up on Mayo Gales. In the relegation game, 2 minutes into the first half, Ahamore 1 point, Davitz no score. And we've got Louisburg. I haven't seen anything. I think Gary Moore is a 2 o'clock game as well. I haven't seen anything on that yet. We'll keep an eye on that. Balla Stephen Knights, of course, in action today against Gary Moore. I'm sure that'll start feeding through soon enough. When Westport took over, Paul, and played so much football there for so long, or Kevin, I'm thinking of Paul Grady. You looked very, very good at that point. You tacked on a lot of scores. So you'd weathered an early storm. It looked like you were going to go into half time ahead, but your run has been checked a little bit. Yeah,
it's highlighted there in co-commentary during the game. It's been a pattern of this Westport minor team in the last few games. It's going back to the semi-final there 2-3 weeks ago. The first half made it work very hard for themselves. Were definitely on the back foot for most of the half, and it took a goal, I think, in the second half from David Groden to really vitalise their performance and give them that bit of breathing space. But again, I have to say I'm very impressed the way Westport have just grinded it out. Full back line's under a bit of pressure there in the start, and has been, as a full back myself, it can be a daunting enough place when the ball is coming in quick and fast, and the likes of Jack Hart and boys trying to keep tabs on them. So but we've dealt well, and the key for us, I think, was to get hands on the ball around the middle lane, get a structure there, and get Pat Lambert back up the pitch again. We don't need him in our full back line picking up ball. We need him up the pitch along with the boys inside there, and Luke Tunney and them guys, and thankfully we're creating a few scores. Mark Morgan has 1-1 to his name. Aaron McHale set up a goal, scored there for Pat Lambert. So all in all, it's been a positive for last 20 minutes, I suppose, for Westport.
Do you feel you can get your hands on enough ball in the middle?
I think we do. I think we've the ball winners there. We've got 2 or 3 marks there now, although albeit Ball have 2 very strong midfielders there in the middle of the field, but again, I think the middle 8 is key again in the second half. If we keep getting ball and keep getting the likes of Owen McLaughlin come off the shoulder and Alan McHale, and delivering good ball in. Ball are playing Pork McLaughlin there as a sweeper, very effective in the first 20 minutes, but as he's been put back to double mark Pat Lambert, he's been quiet in the last 20 minutes. So, and I suppose that's something Ball might have to look at to change up in the second half, because he's a real driving force for them.
The bench, Jerry, what have you got?
Well, already we've had to take Jack Hall off the bench to replace Kenneth Bergen, or Kenneth Bennett. We have Owen Toner there, a brother of Sean, on the bench, and we also have Conor Holden, who is the old type full forward, a big strong lad that could cause trouble if he was coming in. So yeah, there's a bit of, as I said, we're probably weaker bench than Westport, but at the same time what's there is pretty good.
Okay, it could all come down to the bench, of course, as it so often does, as it did last night for Kilmaine, who had a superb bench to spring against Breaffy in their victory in the senior quarter-final last night. The officials are out on the field tending to the divots and that, making sure that all is okay for the second half, because as we know, there is a junior final here as well afterwards too, and they need to keep the pitch in good shape for that, and crowd filing in now as well. It's such a big venue now, McHale Park. You can have a big crowd in. It looks like only a reasonable crowd, but they're making a lot of noise, a lot of excitement. Good standard of football, Kevin.
Great standard of football, and it's what we expect, I suppose. It's an A county final for a reason. There's some good talented footballers on show, a few county minors, so obviously the standard of football is very high, and hopefully again some of these guys can push on the second half and make it more exciting.
Indeed. Okay, thank you very much, Kevin. I presume that they're going through their paces, are going through their instructions, etc. in the dressing room. In both dressing rooms, they both have a lot to ponder. Ball leading 1-6 to 1-5 at half time in this minor football final, the Minor A football final. As we said at the start, it's going to be a historic occasion for either team. Ball have only won it once back in 1979. It's the early 70s since Westport even contested the final, and they are probably a club you would look to see a minor title coming their way. They've been a powerhouse underage in Mayo for a number of years now, but it can be hard to make those breakthroughs as well, to get over the line in big finals, and they'll be hoping to do that today. So as I said, they are getting the divots organised out on the field, and hopefully we'll have a second half rolling along here very, very soon. Do let us know where you're watching on mayogatv.com. We'll hopefully try and give you a mention if we can. We've had people from all over the world watching this weekend. And of course we'll be staying with the Mayo Championships in the weeks ahead. Not sure how we're doing Wednesday night yet in that replay, Ballinrobe versus Hollymount Carramore, but weekend wise we'll definitely be staying with the Championship the next few weeks. Jerry, I'm going to ask you about the junior final. You saw both teams last weekend. You saw too much of Lahardane McHale's. How do you feel it's going to go?
Well, coming into last weekend, I was very, very impressed by Kilmaine. I thought that they had, they have real good forwards. They have real good pace up front. But I must say, after I've seen Lahardane in the league earlier on in the year, and I was amazed at how much they had improved over the past 2 or 3 months. And the fitness level of the Lahardane lads is fantastic. And they're certainly their game plan against Balla in the first half against the Breaffy, and the way they held on to the ball and the way they just held on to possession and just took the scores when they got the chances. So while Kilmaine may be gone in as favourites, I still give Lahardane a wonderful chance.
Kevin, just to throw an eye on the Mayo Senior Championship overall with the teams that are left now, what do you feel?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, Liam, to be honest. I suppose you were taking last night's result. It was probably a big shock to a lot of people around the county. Claremore's pipping Breaffy, and no doubt Breaffy are obviously going to be bitterly disappointed. I suppose they would have had bigger aspirations, I suppose, towards the latter end of the championship to maybe get to a county final and try and get one over on their local neighbours, Castlebar. But again, that's football. Anything can happen inside 60 minutes, and it's good for the champions to see a new team like Claremore's come through, and their first time in a senior county semi-final, I think it is. So they'll be looking to get.
Well, they've won it before. They've won the Mayo Senior Championship, believe it or not, in 1971. I think the last time, but they have a few to their name. Yeah,
I've seen that this morning now, but maybe they have. So, but again, it's their first semi-final in a long time, probably. I think during the last recent years. So it's obviously going to be a big task to them as well.
Maybe since 1978, perhaps. I'm not quite sure, but. We have Westport back out in the field. I'm just to give 1 or 2 updates here. David's 2 points, Ahamore 1. That's the relegation playoff. And Louisburg 7, Mayo Gales 4. That's the half-time score. It's half-time there as it is here as well. That's the intermediate quarter-final. With Westport back out in the field, I'm going to hand back over to big match commentator Tom Carney. Tom.
Thank you, Liam. As mentioned, Westport are already back out in the field. We're just waiting for Ball. We're going to let Kevin Kane do a few stretches just to make sure the body's okay. Jerry Costello too. I think Kevin's going to be showing him 1 or 2 stretches that could be an advantage. Standing still is a bit long, and we're just waiting on Ball. And how do you think the team talk would be going for Ball?
Well, I'd say Conor and Sean would be relatively pleased with the first half. The only thing that would have concerned them possibly was the 10 minutes of domination from Westport and the threat that Pat Lambert and I suppose Mark Moran pose when they're on the ball. Certainly for that 10-minute period, Westport really dominated, and on the other hand, then Westport have also had a few pot shots earlier on in the game. Kind of shot selection was a bit poor, but they had the chances, they had the possession, and what we need to do certainly is that when we have possession now, when we go forward, we have to make it count.
We can see from the way the teams are lining up here, Kevin, that Pat Lambert has gone into full forward. Mark Moran's gone to centre forward. Those changes were made sort of late in the second half and had a good effect.
Yeah, I just see down there as well. I think that's Conor Calvey coming in the corner there for who? I'm not too sure.
It might be Luke Tunney. Oh no, it might be David Groden. We don't see number 15. Oh yeah.
But Pat obviously is going to start in full forward. He's been very effective now in the last 10 minutes, the first half there, and we're trying to get ball into him there, and he's occupying two men on him. So, Joe, if we can keep moving the ball and occupying the sweeper there and keep creating opportunities, and as Jerry said, North and Westport, each time we get an opportunity, we've got to make it count.
Sean Riley has us good to go. 1:45 p.m. here in Castlebar, and we're back underway in the second half of the Minor A Championship final, and it's going to be a free straight away to Bally with Killeen Golding as he went up as the ball was fouled. So it's going to be a free from the start for Ball. Shea Benson with the ball in hand. Rian O'Connor, there was a foul inside and just outside the 21, and Patrick McLaughlin, the captain and the centre back, was dragged back by, looks like, is it Kevin Maguire? So the referee's having a call with him. The umpire is coming out just to get the full update. So I think it's just a tick out. There wasn't any sign of a card that we could see, so it's just going to be an opportunity that was way outside the 45. Ball now have a chance to make it a 2-point game. Carty taps it over, and the first blood for Ball.
Yeah, we're very happy with that now to get a good start to the second half. Kind of a silly free to give away there, really, but the ball wasn't even in play at the time.
Short kick out to Kevin Maguire. It was a noticeable feature of the first half, was the short kick out being pressed by the Ball forwards very strongly, and got good joy from turning over deep in their half, and they're doing it again here and making the Westport defenders work hard for possession. And Rory Brickington gets the stray ball. Aaron Walsh doing the chasing down, and Westport are just outside their 45 now. They've gone back inside the 45 and they're going deeper and deeper, and Rory Brickington says that's enough, and he tries to come out, but he's over carries the ball, and you have to say that was great pressure from the Ball forwards, and they're on the attack straight away, and there's a line of 4 maroon shirts inside looking for the ball, and there's a free given away again. It's a tackle over the shoulder by Rory Brickington, and it's going to be another scoring opportunity for Ball. But Kevin, we seem to be starting the second half as we saw the pattern in the first half.
Yeah, exactly, Tom. It's nearly a carbon copy of the first half. Ball applying serious pressure on our Westport defence coming out, and a short kick out like that, it's always risky, I suppose, with the pressure Ball is putting on, but fair dues, they're after getting a scoreable free here now as well, unfortunately, from Kevin Maguire. Came in a bit rough rugged there. He must have got a good talking to at half time to keep close tabs on Jack Hart, but hopefully we can get to grips with it now, and Ball have a great opportunity here now.
So the yellow card is shown there, I think, to Rory Brickington. So Rory Brickington and Owen McLaughlin are on yellow cards for the Ball backs, and given the way for the Westport defenders. So given the way that the Ball forwards have been running at them, that could have consequences later on in the game. But Jack Hart is up on his feet. Strikes it well, and that's over the bar, and that's the second score for Ball. Makes it a 3-point game, and Jack Hart is still has the scoring boots on.
Yes, the character of the lad there, like he was, the foul looked a bit of a heavy challenge. He got up and put the ball over the bar.
Killian Golden takes a great catch. He has a runner inside, and they're inside the defence, but out comes Kevin Lavelle. He read the danger well, but it's broken to Killian Golding, and he turns and he taps that over the bar from a Kevin Lavelle kick out. He made up with a fantastic save, point blank, but Ball get a score, so it's 4 points for Ball. They have a player down injured. It was from the earlier fielding in the middle from the kick out, but Kevin again, Ball are causing that full back line for Westport all sorts of trouble.
Absolutely powerful run there from Killian Goulding. Caught the ball from the kick out, ran straight through the Hearts defence again, went for the 1-2. Great save by Kevin Lavelle there. He put his body on the line and to get that ball, and unfortunately to come off the wrong side of it to get a score. But Westport needs to start tightening up now. More than the first half, we went good 20 minutes where Balla were on the front foot and we were chasing the game, so we seriously do need to start tightening up now, and I see Kevin Lavelle is down there with a bit of a knock, so hopefully he'll be alright.
Yeah, Kevin Lavelle seems to be doing his he was on the ground while there was a break in play, trying to get some extra stretching done, but he's done plenty of kickouts today, so it goes long this time. Killian Goulding breaks it, and it's almost won by Renault O'Connor, but the ball spills its way out here to Coulon Higgins, but he's surrounded by Westport players, by Ryan Durkin. He's surrounded by Westport players. I think that Martin Calvi would have told the Westport players they need to do more chasing, more tackling, try and win dirty ball, and that's exactly what they've done. Luke Tunney forced out into the right corner forward position. He's been shadowed by Conor Dunleavy. He's trying to come inside on his left foot, but Ball have got back in numbers and are defending well. Thomas Reynolds chasing down another lost cause, and the ball goes out over the side, and the referee's blown away. It's going to be, I think, a hot ball on the far side, but good defending from Ball there, Jerry.
Yeah, I mean, but say at this stage of the second half, the forwards are challenging and pressing on the Westport kick out, and even there in that case, the defending was fantastic. There was 3 men at one stage trying to keep the forward out.
Westport get the game back underway, and you'd have to... Their captain again, Pat Lambert, is trying to give them some inspiration. He draws the foul, takes it quickly, sends it back to Alan McHale. McHale loses the ball but manages to retain it. He's being chased down by Ryan O'Connor and trying to get a snapshot up, but blocked well by Ball. The Westport forward was surrounded by 4 Ball defenders, and a turnover from Overcarrion. Very strong defending from Ball, and scoring opportunity for Westport is snuffed out.
Yeah, I think whatever was said at half time in the Ball dressing room, the defence especially, they're really sticking to their task now, and they're getting around players in numbers.
Westport are trying to get more momentum, Kevin. They're pushing forward. They're pushing higher up the field.
We're trying. Balla, in fairness, Tom, have blocked up their middle channel very well. Very tenacious in their tackling, and they're getting to the ball carrier quick and getting 2s and 3s around the ball, and a great turnover there now. And small things like that could be a big momentum changer.
Great turnover from Emmett Rowley, and the referee is playing an advantage, and he's been dragged to the ground by Shea Benson, so it'll be a free for Westport. Balla have got the opening 3 scores in the first 6 minutes here of the second half, and referee Sean Riney from the Neil is having a quick chat. He feels there was a foul by, looks like Coulon Higgins. We'll see what. It's just coming up to 6 minutes gone, sorry, here at McHale Park, and Westport have an opportunity to cut into that 4-point lead of Ball. Martin Calvi and his management team below us are trying to figure out what they can do next as the free is taken, and that's put over the bar, and that's a great score and badly needed for Westport.
Yeah, big free there by David Gordon. It's good to see him getting on the score sheet. We need to get David more on the ball and getting him into shooting position like that, because he's well able to put it between the posts.
1-9 Ball, 1-6 Westport. 7 minutes gone in the second half here of the Minor A Championship final, live on Mayo GA TV. If you want to get in contact with us or get in touch with us, you can do on Twitter at Mayo GA TV, on Facebook, or just on the website mayogatv.com. Westport trying to get forward, but they're being forced back by the Ball defenders. Ball eventually finds its way to John Geraghty, who's been shadowed by Shea Benson all afternoon, and Shea Benson gets the better of him on that occasion and gives it to his midfield partner Killian Golding, who's tried to release Jack Hart, but unfortunately the ball was short and well swept up by Kevin Maguire, and Westport have an opportunity to build again with Pat Lambert, but he's pounced on immediately by Shea Benson, and it's going to be a free in the middle of the park. Ball have pulled everybody back as the shot is taken, and that's a great score for Westport, and it came from a turnover ball and 2 quick passes inside, and it was a great score for Westport.
Fairness, great turnover over there by Kevin Maguire. He found himself in a lot of space in front of him, so he had to take a chance and go hard for the ball, and great score there by Mark Moore, and that's what 1-2 I think to his name today. It's a great game so far.
As soon as Westport get on the attack, Ball seemed to fill up the channel have a line of maroon across the 45 and trying to collapse them, almost playing like a basketball zonal defence around their big D.
In fairness, yeah, the main priority I think what Ballar's trying to do is block up the middle channel there in front of goal, and as a defender, if calibre Mark Moore kicks a point from out on the sideline like that, well, you'll take it. It's better to concede that than a goal at a vital opportunity like that.
Rian O'Connor met by a wall of blue, and they turn over the ball, and Mark Moore releases Emmett Rowley, but Rowley trying to find Moore again on the return, but he says it was a free. Sean Riley will bring it up for a free, and you'd have to say Ball need to be careful.
Well, with the game they're playing at the moment, funneling a lot of men back, and then when they're going forward, the men are going forward, but you can't, in that situation, you can't afford to have any turnovers.
Westport, Pat Lambert left-footed from a shape pass from Emmett Rowley, and it was a good exchange of play. Emmett Rowley was on the ground, he popped it up, and Pat Lambert with a great score with his left foot.
Yeah, that's what Pat can do, come on the loop like that and kick a great score like that to bring it back to 1 point, Tom, again.
Yeah, fantastic score. I mean, he was kind of going away from goal. It's an art that you don't see much of in Gaelic football. It's kind of going away from goal and managed to hook the ball round over his shoulder. Fantastic score.
Westport surround out, and he's brought down by Jack Hall, but the referee says it's a free, so he's just going to let it play on, and there's 2 Westport players in the full forward position on their own, but it was well read by Patrick McLaughlin, the Ball captain, and they should have been taking Kevin. You were waving at the arm trying to let him know it was on, but it was just a split second too late.
Yeah, Owen McLaughlin and Rory Brickenden were free inside. If Mark only looked up a few seconds earlier and gave the ball in, they could have been through on goal, but it wasn't to be. Ball snuffed it out fairly decently.
Ball to Aaron Walsh in the corner, delivered by Rian O'Connor. He turns his man and he's coming along the sideline. He's bearing down on goal, coming across his Alan McHale trying to stop it, and the door is slammed shut. It's a wide ball. The umpire signalled it wide, that it had gone wide. So better defending from Westport, but an opportunity for Ball, could have got a score. But there's 2 players down on the far side in front of the media tower, and 1 from each side. But it looks like the Westport player is at Michael Brady, we'll find out in a second, but he's signaling that he needs help. Westport have lost 2 players already to injury in this game. They couldn't afford to lose a third.
No, in fairness, yeah, we had the guys that were missing. They're big players for us, and I suppose we need everyone to be accounted for to finish out this game and finish strong, Tom.
Ball, from being 4 points up in this half at one stage, is down to a 1-point game, Jerry. The Ball management will be trying to get things tightened up, trying to get their players back to playing the football that they were playing in the first half.
Yeah, it's a pretty fascinating contest. There's the ups and downs. It's ebbing and flowing at the moment. Ball tacked on 3 points there to start the second half, had their 5 or 10 minutes or 5 or 6 minutes of superiority. Westport have come back and have got a few fabulous scores. So, while we've gone 10 or 12 minutes second half, it's anyone's game.
It's anyone's game, says Jerry, and Westport get us back underway. On the attack is Emmett Rowley, but that's the second ball he's given away. In the space of a few minutes, they need to keep primary possession if they want to try and engineer any scores. Killian Golding gives it to Thomas Reynolds, who's been foray forward. Was the last few minutes of the second half was very well. Benson switches the play out to Coulon Higgins on the right stand, front of the stand here at Elvery's McHale Park. Jack Hart has come out from the corner forward, from the full forward position, and turned over, and Maguire wins the ball back, and it's a free for Westport on the 45. Pat Lambert switches it to Emmett Rowley, who drives it forward, and Westport have runners available if they can get the head up and look, and that's substitute Conor Calvey, who's given it away that time, and Thomas Reynolds sweeps up for Ball, and Ball can build from the back, and their captain Patrick McLaughlin driving from centre back, met by his opposite number there, Alan McHale, and held up. Shea Benson comes to his rescue, and Ball are looking to build again. They have 2 men inside in the full forward line, and that's where the ball is going. A long high ball, but it's broken to Aaron Walsh, and if they can get his head up, Shane Foy is free on the opposite corner, but the referee gives the free. But there was a possibility of a switch ball on there, Jerry.
Well, when I saw the ball going in, I said there was 3 Westport defenders and only 1 Ball attacker, but Aaron did fantastically well to win the ball, and now he's got a free, which hopefully Jack will finish off.
Jack Hart swings it over the bar. He's been fairly clinical today, but Kevin, in the first half, Jack Hart was getting that ball low into his feet. He was able to win it and turn, but the pressure from the Westport midfield made it a high ball in, and it was a 50-50 chance. But it's you'd have to say that the pressure that Westport applying is certainly making it difficult for Ball to get the ball forward.
Certainly, Tom. The last 4 or 5 minutes there, Westport are getting a lot of big pressure on the middle third, which is what we want to be seeing. Obviously, Jack Hart is outnumbered there by 3-1, I think. So, as you said, the ball in the first half needs to be into low and in front of Jack Hart for him to be effective like that. He wouldn't be the tallest of men, but again, if the ball is put in low to him, he's very effective, and he takes serious watching as well.
The referee is consulting his linesman on the far side. Killian Goulding is on the ground. He seems to be in a bit of discomfort. We didn't quite see what happened. He's calling over Michael Brady. We'll just see if we can see what Sean Riley seems to be indicating there was an elbow, so it's a yellow card. That's the third. It's the third Westport defender on a yellow card. You have Michael Brady, Owen McLaughlin, and Rory Brickenden, and it could be Westport need to be careful.
Yeah, we need to be careful now. As you said, it's 3. I suppose we're playing on the edge a small bit, but any more clinical foul, and you could be seeing the line, and we can't afford to have any of our 6 backs sitting on the bench, because they're no good there, obviously.
So from initially winning the free, it's going to be a hot ball for get us back underway, and it's broken won by Declan Shanahan. Gets it at the second attempt. Being marshalled there is David Groden, and Westport get the free on the far side of the field, and they're trying to switch it inside, but it's a straight kick, and it was a well won by Rory Brickenden in the end from a poor pass. That'll be the most disappointing, I think, to Martin Calvey, be the quality of the passing. McMoran settles it down, gives it out to Alan McHale. McHale carrying the ball forward, met by 3 maroon shirts surrounding him. He manages to slip the hand pass out to Conor Calvey, but Ball managed to win the ball over, and Benson brings it away, and good defending from Ball. And McLaughlin, the captain, bringing it forward again as he has most of the game. And Shane Foy trying to slip it over to McLaughlin, but the referee says it was a foul, and you'd have to say that the Ball defence stood up and was counted there for certain.
Certain people, and well, most of the lads are working fantastically hard at the moment in defending it. Shea Benson back there, you had Paul McLaughlin, who's down now at the moment. Well, we see number 14, Canis Bennett, is coming in now. Well, let's see,
we'll just see who will be coming off, but there's a concern for the captain, Patrick McLaughlin, who was injured as he came down. So the substitution is Sean Tonra, who got a score in the first half, being called ashore. So Canis Bennett coming on. He's wearing 14, but it looks like he's going to be playing wing forward. A player who knows where the scoring zone is.
I can't understand why Canis didn't start, but there may be an injury of some sort. But certainly, when Canis gets on the ball, he's a big rangy young fella, got good pace and knows where the posts are.
So it's going to be another free for Jack Hart in front of the Westport goal. And this time that's a great finish, and you'd have to say he's been on fire today, and Westport can't afford to have any more fouls in the scoring zone.
He's been flying, Tom, and again that all came from a solid turnover in the backs there by Ball. Again, it's been a trait of their play today. They've been working hard for each other in 2s and 3s, and fairness, they got up and worked to score and got a free, and Jack Hart can't miss today at all.
Ball turned over in the middle of the field by Ball, and trying to break away with it is Killian Golding, but Westport managed to turn it over. And they need to build some scores here with 17 minutes gone in the second half of the Minor A Championship final, live from Elvery's McHale Park here in Castlebar. Westport, for the first time in a few minutes, get into the attacking area of the Westport of the Ball field, and it's going to be a free. It's going to be a free in front of the posts for Westport, and ball in hand is David Groden, who got a good score in this half.
So I think we're lucky enough there, Tom Jones. We rode our luck this over there. Maybe pull over a jersey or something like that, gift us maybe hopefully a soft score for us, and hopefully David Groden can convert this with whatever 12 or so minutes to go. We'll be within touch distance then of 2 points.
Groden, left footed, it's going to drop short into the large square. There's a Ball fist on it. That could have gone anywhere. Number 24, Jack Hall, turns round to his goalkeeper Niall Fadden and said, I didn't get a call, and it was probably a good job that he got a hand to it.
Yeah, it was a horrible ball for a defender and for a goalkeeper. It kind of fell in just about the edge of the square, and Jack Hart had to go for it, and he ended up knocking it over his own bar.
Westport are preparing a substitution of their own, Kevin.
Yeah, I see Andrew Curd is lining up there ready to come in. Not too sure who he'll be coming on for now, but in fairness, Andrew's a very good footballer, very direct, and hopefully he can bring something to this game and add something to it.
2-point game here, coming up to 11 minutes to go in the second half of the county final here in Castlebar, and Westport get the turnover and switch the play well there into number 20, Conor Calvey. He's being chased down by the Ball substitute, but again the offload is poor, and it's been a feature of this game is that offloading from Westport hasn't been good enough, and they've turned over possession several times in this half alone, and it was a feature of the first half, and Ball can break a pace, and that's a fantastic run by Coulon Higgins. Is trying to support Shea Benson, and Higgins is still going. Nobody's going to pick him up. It eventually finds his way to him. He lets it go. It comes out to Jack Hart, who's going to swing his right boot at it, and that came from a Westport turnover, Kevin, and as mentioned, Westport's turnovers are costing them dearly here in this game.
Again, it's been a trade all day, Tom. Exactly, yeah. Our final pass, when it get up into the final third, is letting us down, and in fairness, it's a massive momentum change there for Ball now, and a great score again by Jack Hart there in the corner, and so hopefully Westport needs to start getting to grips with this game, otherwise again it could start peeling away from them.
Mark Moran trying to get the team moving again, and comes back into midfield, and as we said, the almost zonal defence from Ball comes into play as soon as possession of Westport, and they've been well drilled in how to defend, and even Jack Hart has made his way back into his own half, but Moran keeps going and he gets a shot off, but that's come off the inside of the post. The goalkeeper thought it was going wide, but it dropped short, or came off the inside of the far post, and there wasn't a Westport forward in close proximity to try and get the ball, but if a ball is cleared out to Jack Hart, that's a great take over his shoulder, and he's on his bike and he's being chased down by 2 or 3 Westport players, and he's managed to switch the play to his corner forward partner Aaron Walsh, and getting forward is Killian Golding trying to support him, but Walsh cuts inside. He's going to have another twist and turn. He feeds it, trying to find Rian O'Connor, but it was a poor pass, and Westport can come away with the ball. But once again, the turnovers are costing Westport, and Balla trying to make it get punishment, but it's going to be a grandstand last 9-10 minutes. And hello to Teresa, Louis and Martha and Beth Hoban, who are watching us online at mayogatv.com. And Westport are trying to get something going with 3 points down. They could do with a goal to tie it up, or at least get within 2 points to put some pressure on the Ball team. And Westport are just patiently now trying to engineer a score, trying to move the Ball defence around to create an opportunity. And that's Mark Moran draws the foul off Jack Hart, and the referee is calling Jack Hart over. And you'd have to say it's where Westport would like Jack Hart to be, back defending in his own half back line, but Jerry, he needs to be up the other end of the field.
Oh yeah, but I mean, we had a scary moment there where the ball came in. Niall Fadden obviously thought it was going wide, and it just came off the inside of the post and out again. Part McLaughlin cleared it up. Then we went forward, and Arden Welsh made a great run, and just the offload allowed Westport to get up the field now and aim with a chance.
Justin, as captain of McLaughlin, waiting for this free to be taken. It's going to make it a 2-point game if he can get it over the bar. He was clinical in the first half, and looks like seems to be leaning to the left and wide. Just an update for you from Ahamore 7, Davits 6 points at half time. And in the senior championship quarter final, Gary Morneau scored Ballina 2 after 4 minutes. In the Mayo Gales 6, Louisburg 12. That's 20 minutes gone in the second half of that intermediate football championship. And Pat Lambert there maybe just pulled it slightly to the left.
Yeah, it's a bad miss by Pat there. In fairness, with a few minutes, 5 minutes to go or 6 minutes to go, with 3 points down, we could have done with that score. And because in fairness, as you said earlier, Tom, goals could be another option to lighten up this game, but they look far and few between with the way Ballard defending their skate this game.
Foul given away by Jack Hall. It's going to be a free in for Westport. The referee just having a word as Conor Calvey was protesting to the referee, just saying, look, it was a free, you got your free. We're going to have a free by David Groden, but I think he's given up it to Pat Lambert. So once again, Pat had a shot from a similar angle, so he's going to try and make this a 2-point game. Strikes it well, and that's over the black spot, and that's better for Westport, and it's going to be a 2-point game coming into the last 5 minutes of the game, just coming up to 24 minutes gone, and it's going to 2-point game.
Yeah, I mean, Pat, obviously the one he missed before that, he had learned his lesson and he put that one over the black spot. So a 2-point game, 5 minutes, it's anyone's.
Short kick out this time from Ball, pops it out to Patrick McLaughlin. Ball kicked early by Conor Dunleavy, but Jack Hart, the hop, beats his marker, Alan Maguire, and there's a 1 on Aaron Watts. Is inside on his own. This could seal it for Ball. Saved by Kevin Lavelle, but there's a Jack Hart is down on the ground. We were following the play. We didn't see what happened to Jack Hart, but Aaron Watts' shot was well saved by Kevin Lavelle. Kevin Lavelle rushed out of his line and cut it out, but Westport turn over the ball again, and you have Rian O'Connor dragged back by Rory Brickenden. He's already on a yellow card, having been booked. But Kevin, again, Westport seem to be masters of their own downfall.
Oh, absolutely. We left ourselves isolated there. We got left in a 1-on-1 situation. Absolutely fantastic save by Kevin Lavelle there. The game over if that goal went in, Tom. And look, we're after conceding another soft free here now. Rory Brickenden looks in a bit of trouble. It could be black card territory for a pullback there.
We'll see what Sean Riley having the conversation with Rory. And it's going to be a yellow. We had him down. I thought he'd been booked already, but obviously not. So it's for a drag back. You would have thought could have been a black card, but Sean Riley's the man in the middle. He makes the calls, but it's going to be a free for Jack Hart, and he converted one a moment ago. Now the linesman is calling him over as the goal opportunity presented itself. Jack Hart seemed to be on the ground as the attack built up. I don't think we saw what happened, but the linesman is bringing it to his attention.
When Jack offloaded the ball into Aaron Walsh, he was completely taken out of the game.
So Sean Riley is coming over. I think he's waiting to see who he's calling over. He wants to confirm what number. In the meantime, Balla making a substitution. Looks like Luke McHale could be coming into the game. Just coming up to 26 minutes gone. And it looks like it's Peter Carty he's having a word with. That the linesman is giving the information to Sean Riley, the referee. And this could be another booking. It's a black card. And he's off. And as you said, Jerry, he was caught as Jack Hart had laid off the ball.
I don't think he can have any complaints, because I think that was exactly what the black card was designed for. He was just taken out of the game after he released the ball.
Jack Hart, right-footed, punishes not only the free and the black card, but Kevin, we're going into a 3-point game. 26 and a half minutes gone. It's going to be squeaky bum time.
Squeaky bum time's right, Tom. It's looking like old Ball now at the present minute. Westport need to get their hands on this kick out and drive forward and see can we get a score or two off it. And see King Kennedy is coming in there now as a result of Peter Carty's black card. So hopefully he can add something to it now in the last 4 or 5 minutes. But Westport seriously needs to get their hands on ball here, Tom, and get on the attack, the point of attack as quick as we can.
The substitution, Luke, yeah, it's a 3-point game. Westport get us back underway. It goes long out the field, broken. Coulon Higgins couldn't get it into his hand, and it's won by Westport. And John Geraghty is carrying forward, trying to get a scoring opportunity done, and he has a free man out here on the left hand side. Is Owen McLaughlin, who couldn't quite keep it, but it's broken to him. Finds his way into David Groden with his left foot. He's trying to curl one from that tight angle. Comes off the post, drops short into the hands of Conor Dunleavy. Dunleavy is tackled. There's a jersey pull, but the referee had already blown the whistle. It was a free out. And Kevin, that was another post. The woodwork has come to Ball's rescue again. Yeah,
we weren't alert again, Tom. If we were only a bit more sharper on the rebound there, we might have maybe squeaked something out of it. But again, Ball deservingly of that free, tenacious in their defence, and out to come with the ball again.
Yeah, it was a worrying time for it there for a second, and I think we were lucky enough to get that free.
Coming up to 28 minutes gone, 2 minutes to go into the closing stages, and whatever the referee is going to allow for stoppages. Balla trying to play keep ball in their own half back line, which is a dangerous thing to do when there's only a goal in the game and it's turned over, but the referee said no, it's been dragged. So it's going to be a free on the 45 for Killian Goulding. As we said, we're into the last 2 minutes plus whatever the referee is going to allow. And at this stage, Balla trying to get Jack Hart on the ball, and he's been marshalled by two players, by Kevin Maguire and Alan McHale. And he's doing all the work on his own, but he manages to lose possession. But the referee said he was dragged and it's a foul. So it's going to be another scoring opportunity for Jack Hart on the 21-yard line, almost on the touch line. And that time, Kevin, the defenders were trying to stop him, but the referee said it was a foul. Yeah, quite disappointed there, Tom. Joey, the 2-on-1 situation there. Although Jack Hart is a very good footballer, he wasn't any major threat out on the sideline. Now, albeit if he slipped inside, he's obviously a threat. So very disappointed there from discipline point of view. Probably more than likely the way Jack has been all day, he's going to convert this and push out to a 4-point game, and probably in running for man of the match, I'd say, at this stage. We're inside the final minute of the Minor A Championship final. JJ Burke, Renault sponsored. And that is a fantastic score from Jack Hart. He's been on fire all day, and that's 4 points he's got from play from 4 frees he's got, and that's a fantastic return. And you have to say, with 4 points in it, as we said, 30 seconds in the first half to go in the closing stages of the game, and you'd have to say Balla deserved their lead. Substitute Kenneth Bennett wins the ball, and it eventually gets it out to Shea Benson, and he's looking for that man again, Jack Hart, and he's seen so much of the ball today. And Bennett dragged down, and it's going to be another free, and it's going to be another scoring opportunity for Ball. And at this stage, you'd have to say, if this goes over with 5 minutes, with the 30 minutes just up now, Kevin, it's looking bad for Westport. Yeah, it's not looking great. It's a bit of doom and gloom, I suppose. If this goes over, as you said, Tom, it'll be a 5-point cushion with 30 minutes on the clock now. Ball look like they're on course for a Minor A title here today. Jerry, a Minor A title since 1989 for Ball. As we said, it's actually Killian Goulding who's going to have a go at this one, and that'll be some celebration down in Ball this evening. Oh, it'll be absolutely fantastic, but we want to give it a few more minutes. I think if that one has gone over... No, it came out, clipped the post and went wide, but... A little bit of insurance. Westport need 2 scores. As we said, it's whatever the referee is going to allow now, and you have to feel that Kevin Lavelle has to go along. He has to get the ball into the other half of the field as quickly as possible, and possession is primary here, and that's a great mark taken by Owen McLaughlin. Lets it go quickly out to the side. He has a Westport need to get numbers forward, but the Ball zonal defence is in effect again, and they're marking their territory very, very well as they've done all game, and Westport are forced to go back to the middle of the field. 31 minutes gone. As we said, it's whatever's left, whatever the referee's allowing for time, and Westport need a goal. They need something. They need to get a goal and then get possession. Substitute Andrew Currid. Ball turned over again, but then it's won back straight away. A great turnover won by Conor Calvey. Gets it into David Groden, but he has no options there. Going around the houses a small bit, and eventually comes out to the captain, Pat Lambert. They have to get the ball into a scoring position. Lambert says try to drop it in high, and it's over the bar, so they're going to have to win possession from this kick out, Kevin.
Possession's key here, Tom. Yeah, if we can get our hands on the ball and maybe drive forward again and see can we create something, and maybe get John Gertie in there in the square and lob a high ball in. You never know what might come off it.
It's slightly surprising that there isn't, as soon as Westport get possession, there isn't more players inside the full forward line. There's still only 2 lads inside.
Yeah, we're leaving ourselves a bit isolated inside maybe at times, but in fairness, Ball's defence has been absolutely outstanding all day, and Joe, they're a hard break down, and we're finding it hard to find gaps in there as well.
Sean Riley checks his watch. We've 2 minutes over extra time played. Just an update from around the ground. The senior championship quarter final after 15 minutes. Gary Moore 2, Ballina Stephenites 1-5, Lewisburg 13, Mayo Gales 18. Latest score. Ball get possession of the ball, and they're breaking forward, and Killian Golding is driving through the centre of the Westport defence, and he feeds it out to Jack Hart. Jack Hart cuts inside onto his right foot, saved again by Kevin Lavelle, and that's a 3rd save for Kevin Lavelle this game. He certainly kept Westport in, but the ball is spilled out to Canis Bennett. But at this stage a wide is as good as a score, because they have to restart the game as quickly as possible. As we said, we don't know how much extra time there is. We've had almost 3 minutes, and you'd have to feel that the game is almost up, and Westport need possession. They need the ball, but they can't win it, and it's broken by Coulon Higgins, who's taken out of it by David Groden as he handed the ball. It was a strong challenge. The referee is calling them over. It was a strong challenge. Sean Riley calls him over. He's going to have a word with him. Coulon Higgins won the ball, and as he came down, David Groden came in fairly strong. In the last few seconds of the game, you think it's another yellow card for Westport, but all this is doing is eating up the clock for Ball with 33, coming up to 33 and a half minutes gone. They're going to make another change. Ball are going to try and introduce Harry Freeney. Again, just to eat up the clock, and you'd have to say Westport need possession of the ball, and they need to get it forward as quickly as possible.
Yeah, they do, Tom. I think time is running out now, to be honest. I'd say if we get one more play here, we'll be doing well. And disappointed there from David Groden. A small bit of frustration, I suppose, creeping in. And Joe, high tackle on the ball number 5 there. So let's see what Jack Hart can make of this.
Just outside, about 50 metres out the way, he's kicking the ball. You'd have to say he knows he's found the goal. He's found his range fairly handily. If he gets this one, it'll add to his repertoire. So he steps on the 45. It's gone high. It's going to drop short into the large square, but Westport come away with the ball. Michael Brady trying to carry it, but he dropped it, but he gets it back to Rory Brickenden, feeds it inside, and Westport need to move the ball quick, and it's a switch play out here to Owen McLaughlin. McLaughlin delivers it long inside, but the sweeper is back there doing his job, as we've mentioned, and it's the captain, Patrick McLaughlin, coming away with the ball. An advantage play for a high tackle, and McLaughlin is on his bike, and he's still going, and he's still carrying the ball, eating up valuable possession time, and all Ball have to do is just keep the ball and see out the game. And the substitute Dean Kenny switches the play, and Ball are just slowing it down. Benson recycling the ball very, very well. Ball keeping possession. There's been a notable feature, and Benson trying to break 3 challenges, switches the play out to Coulon Higgins in front of the dugout, and Higgins, sensible, keeping the ball, takes a solo, looking for support, just keeping possession of the ball, switches it out to the free man on the far side, which is the other wing back, Niall Barrett, and he has Conor Dunleavy coming to take the ball off him. Dunleavy, and that's it, it's all over. It's a minor A title for Ball, their first since 1989. Quarters to Ball, commiserations to Westport, Kevin, but on the day you'd have to say Ball with a better team.
Overall, Tom, yeah, Ball were the better team. You know, the set up straight away defensively, they were absolutely powerful all day. Westport left themselves with maybe too much to do, getting off to slow starts in either half, and you know, Ball were obviously with the likes of Jack Hart up there up front today, he was absolutely outstanding today, and as added along with that, Patrick McLaughlin there, centre back, driving them on, and fully deserved victory for Ball. Disappointing from Westport, but again, this team has done very well all year, and it's not the end of these guys.
There's a good number of those players, as we said at the start there, won the under 16A last year. They'll be minor again next year, or under 17, whatever way the competition's going to go. So there's still a good nucleus of a very good team there.
Oh, absolutely. You know, the core group there is some fantastic players. 3 or 4 county minors there this year as well, and we're going to add to that hopefully next year as well, in 17 grade. And Joe, like, still. Okay, it's disappointing today, but it's still great to see a club in a minor A final, and for going on in the future and into senior ranks. Hopefully these guys can come through and add to us as well.
And Jerry, there'll be the bales will be burning on the way home.
I think so, Tom. It was a fantastic win after coming out of here last Sunday when I was down and out. I'm absolutely delighted. I think it was a total team performance. Our defence, especially in the second half, were absolutely outstanding, led by the team captain Patrick McLaughlin. But certainly, every one of the 17, 18 players that went out there, but in fantastic performance. Killian Golden, Shea Benson on the middle of the field, absolutely awesome. Up front, Aaron Welch, and like I said, every young sportsman has this dream, and that everything goes right for you on the day. Jack Hart's dream came true today. He was absolutely phenomenal from open play, from free taking, and his work rate. Like, he's just an outstanding player.
Ball came with a game plan. They executed it very, very well, and you have to say that Jack Hart will be giving the stuff of nightmares to some of the Westport defenders. But at this level, the players still have a lot of development to do. But you can already see, as Kevin mentioned, some of the players were very, very a very good skill level. They're coached extensively well. There's a good underage structure down there in Ball.
Over the past couple of years, I'd say nearly 10 years now, we've had a good underage structure. There's a lot of work on it, a lot of voluntary effort being put in by a lot of people to ensure that what you see out there, the skill levels, the work rate, the team ethic, that's all drilled into them.
Ball 114, Westport 111, and that's the final score as we hand back to Liam.
Thanks, Tom. And Tom is now fishing out updates from other games around the county for me. And just to let you know, if you're watching, you can switch to Facebook Live now, because Paula Ballester-Murat is now recording the Ball celebrations on Facebook Live, or putting them out live. So you can go there as well on the Mayo GA TV Facebook Live page. We had hoped to bring it into this broadcast directly, but that's not going to work for us, so it's on Facebook Live if you want to go there, and this part of the broadcast will be also archived as well for later on too. Jerry, a wonderful day for Ball, a really wonderful day for Ball.
Well, we've been waiting for a long time for a day like this within the club. We've had the near miss with the junior title last year, but certainly it was a fantastic performance, a fantastic victory, and it's so important for the club to get the minors number one into the A championship, but then to come out with a win the A championship, and to have 20 guys there that have shown great commitment and have great potential for the future.
Yeah, you can see the celebrations as well there. Jerry's going to identify a few well-known Ball figures in a moment. Davitt's 6 points, Ahamore 8 points is the latest score in the relegation game. The Westport players making their way off the field, but really the story is all Ball today. It's Ball's victory, Kevin. Westport came here as favourites, but Ball overall played some really controlled football and upset Westport.
Oh, right from the get-go, Liam, you have to hand it to them that they were outstanding today. Right from the get-go, their defence set out their stall early and caused Westport serious trouble, and Westport did get a slow start to both halves, and they were playing catch-up, I suppose, throughout the whole game, and just couldn't get a forefront in through the Ball defence there. And fairness, full credit to Ball, they were absolutely outstanding today, and brilliantly led by the likes of Jack Hart up front there. Absolutely fabulous footballer. Man of the match performance today by a mile, country mile, and some of the skill levels he has and work ethic and bringing lads into games is absolutely phenomenal, and no doubt the likes of Jack might have a bright future with Ball, and hopefully maybe with Mayo, who knows.
Okay, yeah, we'll be watching out for him. We saw our good friend Dean Kenny coming on there as well as a sub for Ball. We're just going to bring Jerry over to the monitor here to recognise some of the people who might be who are involved. Of course, it's a big day for Ball, and we're going to go back out onto the field to check the Ball. Although the Ball players are up on the podium now. So unfortunately, we're not going to get to see them great, but it'll be interesting to see who gets man of the match. A number of contenders there, Jerry.
Well, there may be a number of contenders on both sides, but
and here's one of them, Jerry. Sorry, I'm going to grab him here. Jack Hart is in our studio. He gets a big hug from Jerry Costello, and I see Killian Golding and the centre half forward Rian O'Connor as well. I'm going to talk first of all to Jack. Jack, I'm not sure did you get man of the match award. We're all suspecting you did. Just face this way to the camera if you could, please, lads. Rian O'Connor and Killian Golding as well. First of all, Jack, you weren't fancy today. You were the underdogs, but from the word go, you were causing Westport trouble.
We were ready for it. It's all we've been waiting for the full year. Said we were put into B Championship at the start of the year. We proved that we're an A Championship side, and we've surely proved it today.
What was the secret to it today?
Hard work throughout the year, I suppose. Played well, everything was going well in training. I suppose we peaked at the right time. Everyone was gelling together as a team. I think it just worked today.
Killian, this man got some pictures of scores.
Oh, stop. I'm telling you, ever since under 14, all you have to do is kick it into the space and he'll be there no matter what.
I mean, someone's back to the presentation. A quick word from Rian. A great day for the club.
Oh, fantastic. Best feeling in the world.
We might catch you again in a few moments. Well done there. Rian O'Connor, Jack Hart and Killian Golding, three of the stars of the Ball victory. They're going back to join in the photographs and all of that. And we are going to await the presentation. Kevin, unfortunately, it's not your day. I'm going to let you go now. But Westport were there. They battled hard. Just never fully got the opening.
No, Liam, unfortunately, but again, it's not the end of this team. They've had a serious campaign, and Joe, they came from under 16 grade last year, winning the 8-count title to here today in a year. So, as I said, it's not the end of this team. They're still going next year. A lot of them will represent the club at that same level, under 17s, whatever it is. And Joe, hopefully, integrate a few of these guys into senior level in the next few years, and hopefully, we'll be going on to bigger and better things with this group.
Okay, Kevin, and best luck to yourself in your ongoing recovery. And a shake of the hands from Jerry Costello. Well done. Thank you, Jerry. Okay, thanks, Kevin. Great Mayo footballer Kevin Kane, the analyst representing Westport today, and we have now got the presentation. Unfortunately, we don't have the front shot we'd hoped to have, but I think we're out on Facebook Live anyway on Mayo GA TV, and the Ball presentation about to happen, and it has happened. Who's the captain there, Jerry?
Part Lahardane.
Is his father the teacher in Westport?
No. His father is Patrick McLaughlin. They live in Pullavatty, my own home sod. I think I kicked one of the first or second footballs he ever kicked for him because he was just a neighbour, and he was always been playing with my own two lads, Alan and Niall. So he had a fantastic game today. Really led from the back, went forward, and worked his socks off.
Yeah, one of many players to excel today for Ball in their first Mayo Minor A final victory since 1989. I remember that team well. As Jerry said earlier, some fabulous players, but the class of 2017 can hold their own in any company. We might never see for a long while an exhibition of shooting as given by Jack Hart there in the second half in particular, but all through he was fabulous.
Well, I mean, as I've always said about Jack Hart since the first time I saw him kick a football, there's something special about him. He has that composure, he has that ability, and he makes it look easy, even though, as I say about the duck swimming, Jack is working hard, the legs are going at all times, he's always on the move.
Yeah, he is a beautiful footballer, but lots of other players as well. They've got their cup. I'm not sure do we get a word of the man of the match. Tom Carney's checking that out for us there. So I didn't not sure do we catch that. And but we have, yes, no surprise I think. Jack Hart, man of the match. That was not the hardest decision the judges of man of the match awards have to make for quite some time because Jack was superb there in that Ball forward line. They're going down onto the field again to get their photographs taken and all of that with the cup. And a huge honour for them, a huge moment for Ball Club. Minor football in Mayo always very strong to lift the Mayo Minor title. Quite a sign of things to come, but also in itself a huge achievement for a club.
Oh, it's a brilliant boost for the club. As I said, we've been waiting for something like this for a good while, and it's going to do so much when you see all those parents and mentors and kids and all the supporters out there supporting. And it's a huge day for the lads. It's a day I think they'll never forget. It's just, and it was such a wonderful game to win because it was such a great exhibition of good football throughout.
Yeah, it was a good game of football. Westport players trooping off now disconsolate, but to the victors the spoils, as we always say, and it's Ball who will take home the minor trophy tonight, and they are set to celebrate that with great gusto. And they have, of course, surprised the odds. We've seen lots of odd surprises. We have the management team coming as well. Is it Conor Welch I see coming?
Sean Burke and Conor Welch.
Sean Burke and Conor Welch, both of them are here, yeah. And they're coming, I think, but they're keen to. You have to identify, Jerry, which is which. Yeah, Sean. Okay, well, I think they're looking for a photograph down there, lads. Sean, first of all, a huge moment for the club.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. They're a great group. This is the first time, I think, since the great team of '89 with all the Goldens, and it was great to have Killian on the pitch again today. Great group, honesty, hard work. We knew we had a good side. They know they're a good side. Said it at half time in the dressing room. We know we're a good side. We just keep playing, not giving the ball away. Keep playing our game. We should come out on top.
Conor, they did you proud.
Oh, they did. I mean, it's even sweeter feeling knowing that you beat a fine Westport team as well in the final. They're a fantastic outfit. We knew we'd have to be right on pitch if we were to beat them, and luckily we got a great performance. And you know, as a management team, all you can do is ask your players to perform and ask them to do what you asked them to do, and they've done it. So it's a fantastic day for the club and fantastic day for those group of lads. They really deserve it. Really deserve it.
I need to return you to the photographs as well. Okay, lads, thanks very much. Enjoy the celebrations. Current playing members of the Ball junior football team as well, and doing their bit for the club, Sean and Conor, while still playing, managing the minor team to this great victory here today. The intermediate quarter final, full-time score, Louisburg comprehensive winners over Mayo Gales, 113 to 9 points. That puts Louisburg into the semi-final of the Mayo Intermediate Championship. They're building on their good run from last year. They were Connacht Junior champions last year, as we know, and another good result for the West Mayo team today. Of course, you had Mayo Gales from South Mayo on that one. We're now awaiting the arrival of Lahardane McHale's and Kilmaine for the junior final. I'm going to bring in Joe McGrath and Queeveen Rowland. Jerry, a final word from you. You'll enjoy this one.
Oh, it's very sweet, and really, I said it before, after last Sunday, it's just fantastic to have the silverware going home this evening for a great bunch of guys, a great management team, and there will be some celebration in the Ball tonight.
Okay, well merited, well deserved. I have Joe McGrath and Queeveen Rowland here. I'm going to put Queeveen sitting there, and I'm going to put Joe standing here beside me. So Joe, if you come down alongside, we'll get a shot of Joe McGrath as well too. And people haven't maybe seen you, Joe, for a while, since maybe days you lit up this very venue as a player. Who'll forget 79, of course, your all-star year. But today really is about your club, the club you played with for so many years, Kilmaine. You've had a losing sequence in finals. You're hoping to put it right today.
Yes, it'd be nice if we could come away today with a win. But you know, a final is a two-horse race, and I think it's a 50-50 game. Even though we'd be kind of marked down as slight favourites, you know, I think this game will go to the wire. I think Lahardane are a good side. They proved it here last Sunday, and you know, a 50-50 game, I call it.
Yeah, and as you said, Lahardane were impressive last Sunday, but Kilmaine too took care of a very talented Ballycastle team, a battle-hardened Ballycastle team. Any late team you need to know about, Joe? Is everybody fitting well?
Everybody's fitting well. I just wonder about Brian Maloney. I think he may start from the start. Like, you know, I think he'd be a bit too good to hold in reserve. Like, but other than that, I have no news on the team except it probably will start. But I'd expect Brian Maloney to come into that team before.
Okay, yes, Brian, of course, a long-serving member of the Kilmaine squad as well, too. Hello to Joe Callahan, who was the other Joe last weekend representing Kilmaine. He's in Rome this weekend. An error of timing there, Joe, you'd have to say. Any man that books a holiday the week of the county final should be excommunicated from the club, shouldn't he?
Yeah. We'll have to have a quiet word with him on his return shortly, yeah.
I'm going to swap positions, George. You might just slip in there behind me. And I want to talk to Queeveen. Queeveen, you can stay seated, actually, because you'll get too tall enough then. Queeveen, we've talked to you a little bit earlier on Facebook Live. Lahardane, 32 years since being in a final, have never won an adult county final. The Neil were in the same boat a few years ago, actually, when they won their first adult final at this level too. But there's been great excitement around Lahardane.
Yeah, no, we're managing to handle the hype, keep a lid on it for the time, you know, try and remain quietly confident coming into this game as underdogs. You know, we know that Kilmaine are going to pose a massive challenge for John Mahon's side today. But, you know, we're looking forward to the game in the sense that, you know, it's first time, 32 years since we're in a county final. Last time was against Park. or Isle Lady rather, and Park beforehand. You know, the only time we've lost in a county final was against our neighbours. So thank God Kilmaine are quite far away. So hopefully that can be a good omen.
You'd need directions to Kilmaine, wouldn't you?
Yeah, we would. It'd be hard to find on a map for us, I think. Yeah.
David's 10, Ahamore 10, latest in the relegation playoff. The losers will play Ballinrobe next weekend. And Joe, I'm just going to turn to you again. Everybody here last weekend, you can stand up, Queeveen. Actually, we're getting the word that you might be. Yeah, you're not as tall as Jerry Costello. We had to bring Jerry in down earlier on. A lot of people very impressed by the Kilmaine forward play last weekend, Joe. They're not big men, but they're nice footballers.
Yeah, nice footballers. Yeah, they're very mobile, very fit, full of running, and you know, I think today the conditions out there will be suitable for all footballers. Like no breeze, no rain, nice fine day, and I think both teams will enjoy playing football out there today. You know.
Latest from the Championship quarter-final, the Senior Championship, Garrymore 2-5, Ballina Stephenites 1-6. Thank you, Tom Carney. A goal there from Cathal Slattery, All-Ireland Senior B winner with Ballinrobe Community School this year. Mayo Minor this year as well, of course, too. But elsewhere, Joe, you've got a lot of experience in that team and that setup. You have Pat Kelly there, of course, Derek O'Dea, who's playing nearly as long as yourself.
Yeah, that's right. They were all part of the minor team in '98. Jarlath McDonough as well, they on the full back line. David Hughes, good mix of experience in our defence there. Our midfield, Frank Burke, has been around a while, and after that then we have a lot of young legs, you know, full of running, and hopefully that'll carry them over the line today.
As a former player, Joe, do you have a kind of an itch to get out there today, or has that left you at this stage?
I think now at this stage...
I'd say you will go out, but is it in your head even?
No, not at this stage now. I think today's game is more about speed than weight at this stage.
You were tidy enough, Joe. Whatever bit you got, you used. Anyway, we have Stephen Carlin there. We'll talk to Stephen in a moment as well, our match analyst. Gary Naughton's return, huge for Lahardane.
Yeah, it's massive news. You know, it's the news that we were all waiting to hear. We weren't too sure if it was going to happen when, you know, after the game initially. Whatever way, they went to an appeals, and thank God he got off anyway.
Did Joe Brawley involved?
No, Joe Brawley wasn't involved. But I think in a week when OJ Simpson got off, I think anything's possible. So justice mightn't have been served. You know, some might say, but you know, it would have been massive loss to not have Gary Naughton. He was involved in, I think it's 7 county semi-finals and lost them all, and the last day was the first one that he was involved in and won. So you know, it would have been heartbreaking for him to have missed out on today.
And I know he was adamant he didn't strike, that he was unfairly sent off.
It was put down as a possible strike, so you know, it was reviewed and justice was served anyway.
Okay, very good. We're big injustice in Lahardane today. Stephen Carlin, I'm going to call him in for a second too. Joe, just moving a little bit there. Just get a quick word from you, Steve. We'll do a bit more analysis in a few moments with you. You saw both sides here last weekend. 2 very different games. Lahardane played that control style against the breeze. Probably the performance of last weekend, that first half performance by Lahardane.
Yeah, very much were in control there. Typical John Mahon team. They knew what they were about. Well drilled, well disciplined, and broke down the blanket defence that Ball tried to implement. Moved the ball out to the sidelines. Very expansive, wide expansive, as you said yourself last week. Very modern style of approach. Got around the blanket defence and took their scores. In the second half then they just kicked on with the aid of the wind, but still second half was very controlled from Lahardane. They didn't start shooting from all over the place. They were controlled again and measured in their approach, and eventually broke down Ball's discipline went out the window a little bit in the second half, and that was the end of it really for Ball.
Moy Davis 11, Park Keelogs Cremlin 6 in the intermediate quarter final. Are we looking at a situation here, John, where Kilmaine might have a bit more individual talent and Lahardane are trying to bring a system of play, or is that too simplistic?
No, you're not. That wouldn't be totally off there. John Mahon would insist on a strong team ethic, strong team ethos, and inside that, the individual must find his way inside that to get his team, do the most for his team. Yeah, definitely. Kilmaine had a couple outstanding individual performances last week. Jarlath Mullen. Michael Hession up front in particular caught the eye. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Kilmaine dropped 2 men back. Colin Hughes dropped back, and I think Keady dropped back the last day. So they didn't ever function with a 5 or 6 man forward line. So it'll be interesting. Ideal conditions out there. There's no wind out there today. So it'll be interesting to see how they function as a forward unit. I thought the backs were very good for Kilmaine last week. And I thought they were very disciplined in their tackling. So yeah, there's a nice mixture there of individualism and team in the Kilmaine team.
Okay, Stephen, thank you. We'll get you again in a few moments' time. We're still awaiting the arrival of the teams on the field. Paul Cunyan, the County Board PRO, is nearby. He might have some updates for us as well. Gary Moore taking a lead against Balla is the big one we've noticed there, Paul.
Yeah, I just was looking at it there early on in the game. I think it was 1-4 to no score. It looked like nearly a done deal, but Gary Moore fairly come back into it at this stage, so it's going to be a tight tussle, I'd say, for the rest of the game. I see Lahardane 2 points up against Davits in a big relegation playoff over in Ballinrobe, so Davits down to 14 men, got a man sent off, I think, just before half time, so looking like Lahardane might hold on there, which would mean it'd be a south playoff for the final relegation spot between Davits and Ballinrobe. So all to play for, with the 3 intermediate games thrown in shortly as well.
Okay, thank you very much, Paul Cunyan. Joe, back to you. Stephen made the point there about the Kilmaine backline, who maybe don't get as much credit sometimes, but they're a very tight unit.
They're a very tight unit, and I think they're a very experienced unit. I think that's their big forte today, is the experience they have from playing at a higher grade. And that should stand to them.
Yeah, so a final, Joe, of course, you said yourself, the 2-horse race. It has a different feel to every other game, doesn't it?
It does. There's a lot of things that'll be at play, even a bit of nerves and stuff like that, and fellas will be anxious, and until it settles down, I hope both teams will hope it'll settle down fairly quick and they get into the rhythm of the play, but until that whistle starts there for the throw-in, they'll be anxious on both sides,
You're marking a younger opponent today here. Do you think can you take him in the close quarters?
I expect this game to go all the way. I saw Lahardane here last Sunday, and I was very impressed with our 2 midfielders, who did a tremendous amount of work, especially number 8, Tony Dever. I thought he was outstanding. Kilmaine, if they can win the middle of the field today and get supply into their forwards, I think they could edge it,
Yes, that's going to be a crucial battle.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. The midfield is going to be very important for Lahardane. Lahardane very strong there against Ball the last day. The work ethic of Tony Dever was so important, and Gary Octon there as well. With the likes of Matthew Queenan, centre half back, bombing through, that's where Lahardane create a lot of their attacking force from, and then through onto Adrian Leonard. I think it will be an interesting tussle between Adrian Leonard and Pat Kelly there in the centre half forward position. He's going to be the player that Kilmaine are going to look to stop, and as Pat Kelly marked me all forward the last day, I imagine that he'll go up against Adrian, and it'll be an interesting tussle to see, and hopefully that will then give space for the other Lahardane forwards to get it on the ball and get a few scores off.
Okay, well, Kilmaine have taken the field to the large panel. They have 32 players listed in their panel, and of course Kilmaine club going well at a lower level of junior as well, Joe.
That's right. We're in the Junior C final next Sunday against Mayo, and it'll be another final for us, so we have plenty of players, but unfortunately we can only start 1:15 for today, but we have a lot of players within the club, probably a lot of them at the same level, but having said that, hopefully we'll be up intermediate next year, and we'll be able to have a good junior team as well.
It often happens in a club when the top team starts going well that other things roll into.
Yeah, well, they all train together, and there's a good mix there of youth and experience, and we'll see how far that takes us today now.
Yeah, 32 players tagged. Lahardane are at 28, but I know they've been putting in huge efforts to keep their show on the road this year. They brought in John Mahan this year. His selectors are Darren Leonard, Eamon Rowland, and Kilmaine have a very impressive selection and management team as well. Norman O'Brien, a vastly experienced manager, goalkeeper on a previous junior winning team with Kilmaine.
That's right, 92.
Yeah, Martin Canny is there. David O'Loughlin played for many years with Kilmaine. Mark Butler, Mayo player, Jarlath star, Hogan Cup captain, and his brother John Jared as well. A lot of effort being put in there. A lot of very significant Kilmaine GA people in that management team.
Yes, indeed, and it's good to see the past players getting involved again, and they all putting their shoulder to the wheel, and that's one thing. It's a very good club. It's well run, but a bit of success now is what we're craving for at this point.
Yes, Lahardane turning the screw on Davits. We hear 14 points to 10. Lahardane leading Davits in that relegation game. We're hoping to check some other scorelines in a couple of moments as well. We're waiting on the arrival of Lahardane. I'm going to let you commentate them out, actually, Caoimhín. There's your big break. Keep talking as they arrive.
Thank you very much, Liam. Yeah, everyone in Lahardane has been excited for the match all week. It's been on the lips of everyone that you meet in the village in the past few days. The colour throughout the streets of Ballinrobe, thanks to the club secretary Enda Coyne, and on through the village of Lahardane itself. Paintings of players up on window shops, flags and bunting strewn all the way across the village just under the butt of Nathan. It's an exciting time, first time in 32 years to be involved in an adult junior county final. Having never won one before, this is going to be a massive test for John Maughan's side. The likes of Barry Leonard is a stalwart of Mayo Junior football before. He's the Mayo Junior captain in 2015 when they lost to Kerry up in Croke Park that day. The likes of Paul Coleman as well is another long-staying talisman of this side, as well as Gary Ogden and Joe Mulhern. It'll be interesting to see how Aaron Murphy, the likes of Aaron Murphy and Mark Noon play today. The possibly lesser known attacking players in the Lahardane team. They'll be integral to John Maughan's style of play with their fast running and direct play. Hopefully they'll be able to get a few scores and help Lahardane and see them through and in winning the McDonald Cup. Of course, the main man for Lahardane on attack, Adrian Leonard, scoring 110 in the semi-final, in the quarter-final against Balla, and 6 points against Balla in the last game. And of course James Maughan in full forward, a very powerful target man, and the nephew of John Maughan, the manager of the Lahardane side.
So yeah, no changes to the Lahardane team we're hearing now. Davids have got a goal, 110 to 14 points. Ahamore now leading, and a great gathering of Lahardane fans just to greet their team as they come out of the tunnel there.
Yeah, that's certainly, the credit goes to Enda Coyne for that. You know, a lot of people may know Enda as the man who dresses up in incredible colours for any Mayo match, a super fan by any means of the word, and he brings that to club football as well. You know, he's an embodiment of showing that football starts at the grassroots level and is involved through the club for past few years now, and has brought so much colour through the shop in Ballinrobe, with selling flags, wristbands, bunting, the whole works, and decorated the village of Ballinrobe very well in the past week. And you can see there now, just below us, that all the children they were given flags throughout the national schools to bring to the match today, and they've brought so much colour, so much excitement, and you can really feel that, you know, it is an occasion here for Lahardane today. It's a special time, and it's one that we're all looking forward to.
Okay, Queevy, we might come back to you in a moment with Lahardane if they decide to come out. They're taking their time about it, not in a huge hurry. The Kilmaine team, I see, doesn't seem to be any changes yet, but we're just double checking that. We're thinking Kilmaine may start, and Lahardane, as Queeveen said, waiting to come out onto the field. Kilmaine doing their kick around, going through their warm-ups and that, and so yes, we're just waiting on the. So yes, the Seamus Toohey, the county board vice chairman as well too, and the county board officials. They're getting a bit worried looking down there, Joe. Maybe Lahardane decided not to come out at all.
Oh, yeah, they'll come. Don't worry.
They'll be here long enough.
I've never seen a team yet that wouldn't turn up for a county final, you know. So they'll be here.
Interesting. Davids have pulled level, 111 to 14 points. They were down to 14 men last we heard. It's 111 to 14 points, and that's good work by Davids.
Oh yes.
They're a decent enough side, Davids, when they get going. You know, they have some very good players.
Yeah, especially with Colin Boyle there, and Davids are hard beaten. You know, they're a tough side to crack at any stage, like, you know, and especially in a relegation. You know, they'll give it everything. You know,
they beat Clamaris in a league game only a few weeks ago. I mean, we've seen what Clamaris have done now. Big win for them last night.
Yeah, that's a bit of a surprise taking Breaffy, but you know, the work has been going in Clamaris for the last while, and they got the rewards yesterday evening.
Hughes, you're right. Brian Maloney in for Colin Hughes.
Yeah, and the Lahardane team have just gone out there to great colour. They're going to take their seat now for the photograph before the match, and you know, it's great colour, great excitement from the Lahardane supporters there.
Okay, yes, just to confirm that, Brian Maloney in for Colin Hughes. You were half expecting that, Joe, I think. A vastly experienced player, very hard to leave him off for a county final.
Yeah, very, very experienced player, and a great burst of pace, and there's always a goal and a couple of scores on him, like, you know, and you need that, and they need to feed Brian Maloney today now, and if he gets fed with good ball, he will cause damage.
Yes, indeed. We're going to hand over to match commentator Tom Carney now in a couple of moments, with bringing in Stephen Carolan again for his final considered contribution before the game starts. Brian Maloney, and you played with him in Mayo team, Stephen. He never lost that burst of pace. He's still quite powerful on the ball.
Yeah, very dangerous player to be able to throw into the mix here today. Now that will have John Mahan and his management team there scratching their heads a little bit.
John gave me his inter-county debut at Mayo, didn't he?
That's correct, back in '99 here against New York, I believe. Yes. I played against Brian that year in a junior county final, actually, in this the very venue here.
You playing that day, Joe? You stayed there in '99, Joe?
No, I just hung them up at that stage, I'm afraid, yes. No.
What have you won with Kilmaine? You've won intermediate and junior, haven't you? Senior league?
I would have played in 5 junior finals and I'd have won 3 of them.
Have you an intermediate title? You have?
I would have 2 intermediate titles, yeah.
Have you a senior league Division 1 title?
We would have a senior league Division 1 title, yeah.
Okay,
I can't really follow that, Liam. Two junior titles, never got to an intermediate final with Ballinrobe. I've a couple of those, all right, yeah. Kilmaine will be here before. They're playing at a higher level than Lahardane. That's definitely going to be a factor here today. They're going to know how to win these type of games. It's not going to be a new experience for them. Lahardane, I expect them to bring huge desire and hunger to this game. And if the two teams are thereabouts with 65 minutes, it'd be interesting to see what wins out in the end. Will Lahardane be able to push on, or will the undoubted quality of Kilmaine win out in the end of the day?
Okay, it's Davids won 11, Ahamore 14 points. That's a full-time score. We have a draw on that one. In the senior championship, 30 minutes gone. Ballinrobe down to 14 men, and they're trailing by 2 points. Garrymore 2-5, Ballinrobe Stephenites 1-6. Very hard to shake off Garrymore, Joe. They've hung in there at senior level for so long.
And I was listening to that game, and I think Ballinrobe went into a 1-2, 1-3 lead there at the start, but Gary have turned up since, and they have really turned the screw, and they're a great championship team, have been all down through the years, Yeah,
they keep having a go at it and getting out of groups regularly enough, and they are looking like they might take Ballinrobe there. We keep an eye on that. That's still very close. 30 minutes of the second half, 2-5 to 1 goal and 6. And we are awaiting the throw in here. Both teams still at either end of the field. I'm sure we'll have a national anthem and all that to observe. And the news that Brian Maloney is in the team, causing a big cheer among the Kilmaine supporters. They know the quality Brian brings to this, and he has been a very loyal servant of the club as well. He has played with them right down through the years. He played with St Vincent's in Dublin, where he was an All-Ireland winner, club winner.
Yeah, himself and Pat Kelly, the two of them have won club title with St Vincent's.
But both have come back to be leaders in their clubs now.
Yeah, both of them are back in the club now, and have been back for a few years, and have really, young fellas have really looked up to them,
So 14 to 1-11, that's the final score, Ahamore versus Davids. We're going to hand over to match commentator Tom Carney. Thank you, Stephen, to Joe and to Creeveen. And Joe and Creeveen will be joining Tom for the commentary. We'll be talking to Stephen at half time again. So over to you, Tom.
Thank you, Liam, and welcome to everybody watching in Ellery's McHale Park, where teams are going through their warm-up routines. It's about 6 or 7 minutes to throw in this Breaffy House Resort and Spa Junior County Final. Tuning in from sunny Lanzarote is Trevor Naughton. Hopefully he can send a bit of sunshine our way, but we'll see how we go this from here. It's not a bad day here in Castlebar. The first game, in case you missed it, was the Minor A county final between Balla and Westport in the JJ Burke sponsored championship, and Balla winning, played very, very well, and they're deserved winners this year, and that's their second Minor A championship since 1989. And we're looking here today, and there's a nice crowd filling in for the county final. Lots of flags, lots of banners, as Queeveen mentioned. The schools were supplied well and early, and there's a nice buzz around the village.
There is, yeah. It's an exciting time to be from Lahardane, and credit to the club where they supplied flags and jerseys to all the national school children, and they're all available for them here. And it showed up. It's great colours, black and amber, strewn across Ellery's McHale Park. It's great to see, and it just shows that the excitement for this occasion is brewing in Lahardane.
and the green and red was left out for in Kilmaine. It wasn't too hard to recolour Kilmaine, to be fair.
Well, when we put out the red and green, it's on the double, so it's we get good value out of it, so hopefully now today this will turn out to be a good game for all the people that turned up here, and to be a good spectacle, and with the conditions ideal, it'll suit both teams to play good open football, and I think both teams will go at it from the word go, and made the best team win.
And Kilmaine have a second county final. Their B team are in the C final against Castlebar Mitchells.
Yes, that was supposed to be on last night, but it was put off until next Sunday. So we have another county final next weekend. Now we have a lot of players. We have a lot of players probably of the one type, But it's good that we have
the one type, the good type.
The good type, yeah. They're all. We have a lot of experienced players on both teams, and we have a lot of young players, and that's the type of players we have at the moment,
Good times in Kilmaine, and as we said, we're just waiting for the warm-up routines and to be gone through. The national anthem will be played before the games commences, and we'll keep you up to date with what's happening around the grounds as well. As we said, there's a lot of fixtures being decided today. It'll be a tough test for Lahardane. For Kilmaine have been in good form, but overcame a strong semi-final and deservedly so.
Yeah, it was an impressive performance from John Mahon's side in the semi-final against Balla. It was a performance that maybe few outside of Lahardane saw coming, really. They went into that game as underdogs, and many people saw Balla being the losing finalists of the junior championship last year to stroll through that one. But Lahardane came and absolutely blew them away. It was an incredible performance, and one that the entire team should be very proud of. But it'll mean nothing if they don't show up today, and it's going to be a massive test again today against Kilmaine. Lahardane are going to take the underdogs tag quite happily, and the positivity has been brewing in the Lahardane camp. If you have somebody like John Mahon managing the team, there's no need to invest in a sports psychologist. You already have about 3 or 4 different attributes put into one manager. So it's an incredible thing to have him at the helm, and it's shone through this team this year.
Speaking of John Mahon, he's down on the dugout there. I think he's doing a Jim Connolly. He's trying to get the psychological advantage, showing the guns are out and the Under Armour is maybe 2 sizes too small.
Yeah, maybe a few sizes too small, all right.
If you or I look as good at his age, we wouldn't be doing too bad now, to be fair.
Yeah, no, I think I'd even opt for the Jim Connolly short sleeve option. I think he's been a bit too modest at the moment with the Under Armour. So if you have it, you might as well show it.
John Mahon never shy to show it, as Queeveen calls it. Norman O'Brien's done a good job for Kilmaine this year. Cemented your position in the league and focused on championship.
One thing with Norman, when you have Norman, he gives 100%, and he expects 100% of all his players, and he leave no stone unturned, for the team or for the club or for the parish, being from the parish, and he's one of these guys, that's very passionate, and it's good to see him back in Kilmaine again.
Teams are going into their respective huddles. 2 minutes away from throwing. The national anthem will begin shortly. Both teams have unbeaten in their championship journey so far, with semi-final wins, as we said, for Lahardane over Balla, and Kilmaine strong winners over Ballycastle. So we're in for a very interesting game. It should be a tight affair. But both teams can play football. That is the one thing that they can do, and bring lots of excitement and lots of colour, as we mentioned. And the crowd is still making its way into the stand here, and there's a few hardy bucks going over to the exposed side of the ground in front of the media tower. There's a fairly stiff breeze, if you can make it out there on the screens from over the flags on the media tower. And as the teams line up on the sideline, we'll shortly have our own Naveen. Once we have that out of the, we will then have referee Paul Lydon from Kilmaine be the man in the middle today, and we'll hopefully have a good final. As we said, conditions great for football. As Joe mentioned, it's nice and fresh. The pitch is in very good condition. It's been holding up very well. There was 2 games on it last yesterday, and today, watching it across Lahardane. Today from all his proud cousins in London, and Kevin Queenan and Aaron Naveen. The flags start to wave. The teams start making their way into their positions. It's 3 o'clock in Elvery's McHale Park in the final of the Breaffy House Resort and Spa sponsored 2017 Mayo Junior A Football Championship final between Kilmaine and Lahardane McHale's. On a side note, Kilmaine sponsored by McHale's. So there's, as we said, a bit of a crossover.
Yeah, and Lahardane sponsored by Johnny McDonald's company, and of course they're playing today for the McDonald Cup, so that's a nice way to tie it up.
Referee Paul Lydon has the Leroji ready to go. He's checking with his timepieces, and we're underway. And Kilmaine get the first break of ball. Tomas Fahy gets past Tony Deaver, and he gets into the 45. High challenge, advantage allowed, but the referee's going to bring it back for the high challenge across, and a positive start from Kilmaine straight from the throw-in. So it'll be a free in the opening moments of the game for, looks like, Jan Mullen, who was Michael Hessian with his left foot. Michael Hessian, who was quite dominant in the semi-final, and his father, I know, is and that swung over the opening score for Kilmaine.
Yeah. Nice free there, well taken. You know, Vinny will be proud of him today.
Opening score to Kilmaine. Minute gone. Joe Mulhern goes long out to the middle field looking for Tony Deaver, Gary Naughton, and the ball breaks for Kilmaine. Over carrying the ball, couldn't get the pass popped off Ernan Flannery, so Lahardane go fast, go long, and name it inside towards James Maughan. James Maughan inside can't quite get hold of it, and Derek O'Dea is there to try and plug out the danger, but Sean Fahy is quick off his line, pops it out to Jarlath McDonough. Jarlath McDonough gives it to Kelly, and he's coming up the middle of the field now, and he's laying it off, and out in the field is Matthew Keady, who's made all his way outside, and Joey Maloney delivers it quickly inside, a great ball into Brian Maloney, and Brian takes a hop and he brings it inside in his left foot, and that's a great move for Kilmaine. 2 quick scores. The stop the Lahardane attack, and 5 passes later score over the bar.
Yeah, good sweep and move up the field there, you know, and well finished off there by Brian Maloney.
Brian Maloney starting in for Colin Hughes, playing left corner forward. Joe Mulhern out long again towards Gary Naughton, takes the mark, whose red card was rescinded from the semi-final. Strong challenge by Ernan Flannery, loses the ball, but Lahardane have it back, and it's Paul Coleman. And Coleman again looks to go long, releases it short into and Adrian Leonard, and Deaver passes it back to Coleman, who continued his run, but he's brought down by Tomas Fahy, so it'll be a free in for Lahardane, and Lahardane are hoping to get on the score here with Adrian Leonard.
Yeah, hopefully now Adrian Leonard can settle down the Lahardane team. You know, it's been a nervy first opening minute or two with Kilmaine getting 2 successive scores. Hopefully now you can trust Adrian Leonard, hopefully to get this ball over the bar.
Right-footed. Whatever breeze there is behind him, and it's over the bar, and that's the first score for Lahardane. 2 points to 1, just coming up to 3 minutes gone in the first half here of the Junior Championship final. And as we said, it's a great day for football, and then the crowd are still making their way into McHale Park as the ball goes long. Tomas Fahy can't grab it, but Joey Maloney is there to scoop it up, and quick ball inside to Brian. Gets it on the ground, but he can't get up, so the referee says he didn't hold it on too long, so it's a Paul Lydon, referee from Kilchimoss, says it's a free out. So Conor Coleman goes back across the pitch, and they're coming back inside and bring it out to Gary Naughton in midfield. Naughton to Deaver. Nice low ball into Adrian Leonard. Leonard spins away from Matthew Keady, recycles the ball to Tony Deaver. So effective in the semi-final against Ball. Deaver, poor hand pass, but it's swept up nicely, and Kilmaine break away. And we have Brian Maloney showing where he wants it, but he switched the play to Ernan Flannery on the left hand side, and Ernan cuts inside Barry Leonard, recycles the ball well back to number 10. It's Jarlath Mullen. Jarlath Mullen now still cutting inside, left footed, and that's over the bar, and that's a great score for Kilmaine. But again, Lahardane turn over the ball, and that's 2 turnovers now, have been punished with 2 scores.
Yeah, Lahardane looked very nervy in the opening few minutes. You know, a lot of ball has been going away from hand. Hand passes have been very poor so far. Ball hasn't been sticking to any of the players' hands. You know, it's important now to get strong players onto the ball, like Tony Dever, and bring that running game to Kilmaine.
Both teams going man for man in the opening stages of this game. There's no sweepers involved at the moment, so it's a 15-on-15 game. And the kick out won by Brian Maloney. Brings it over to Ernan Flannery, and Ernan looking to spread the play, open up this big McHale Park pitch, and ball finds its way into the hands of Joey Maloney, and Joey comes inside on his right foot. Joey, good tackle, but breaking ball gets to Tomas Fahy. Tomas back to Joey. Joey recycles out the wing to Ernan Flannery, and Ernan looks to get us going. Diagonal ball in high in towards Matthew Keady, but it's a bit high and it's just too long, but the idea was right.
Yes, a good idea, but too much pace on the kick, and just went wide.
John Maughan is up from his seated position on the dugout, and he's getting instructions out to his Lahardane players and hoping to get a foothold in the game. Tony Deaver breaks it down, breaks it well for Matthew Queenan. Out to Aaron Murphy, shadowed by Tomas Fahy. Murphy coming in on his right foot, looking for support. He finds it in the shape of James Maughan. Diagonal ball over the top, broken, tapped down nicely for Keith Loftus, who switches the ball back to Chris Rowland. Ball back into the centre forward position, but Kilmaine press high, and Tony Deaver has to get the ball over to Aaron Murphy, and Aaron Murphy is looking for support, and he gets it in the shape of Matthew Queenan, who's burst of pace into the Kilmaine defence, but turned over. Matthew Keady back helping out his defence from full forward position, and that frees up Pat Kelly to get forward. Kelly gives it to Matthew Mullen, who then feeds it out to Jan Mullen, but he loses possession of the ball, and Lahardane can build an attack from centre back with Matthew Queenan. Takes a high solo, but Lahardane retain possession. Just both teams almost feeling their way forward, and Chris Rowland powers forward, sells Matthew Keady, slips it inside. Lahardane right footed over the bar. That's a good score from Adrian Leonard from a turnover in their own half back line, and good cheer there for Lahardane score.
Yeah, it was an incredible score there from Adrian Leonard, and a brilliant approach play from Chris Rowland. You know, that's the pace that he has to come along on the right wing there from the wing back position, and then slot in Adrian Leonard, and he's always going to score from there.
Matthew Keady is all on his own out here on the sideline if they can find him, and the ball came to him but he couldn't gather it in, so it's going to be a sideline ball for Lahardane in front of the Kilmaine dugout. Shane Loftus with the ball in hand. It goes back to midfield, but it's a 50 ball. A cheer from the crowd to let him know there was Tony Deaver had company. He recycles it well back to Shane Loftus, who delivers a great ball over the top, but it's cut out well by Derek O'Dea. And Kilmaine build again from the back with Pat Kelly, ever reliable numbers, great servant for Kilmaine, Pat, over the years. Jarlath McDonough trying to break 2 tackles, but the referee says the tackle was high. Gary Naughton slightly high there, so Pat Kelly will have the free just outside the 45. Just coming up to 8 minutes gone here, Elvery's McHale Park. Both teams still finding their way. Ball works into the corner into Michael Hession. Comes in on his left foot, looking for support. Tried to deliver. Pab hits it, but turned over. It's another turnover for Kilmaine, and Lahardane can build again from the back. Just 2 Lahardane forwards inside their own 45, but Pat Kelly draws a foul of Chris Rowland, so it'll be a free in the halfway line for Lahardane. slow, patient build-up at the moment, and both teams just feeling their way into this game. And as we said, it's the early stages, and a lot on the line in a county final. Knocked back to Deaver. Power running from him, slips it into Adrian Leonard. Leonard looking to go with his right foot again, slightly far out the field, but he had a similar chance a moment ago and it slipped it over.
Yeah, confidence is obviously flowing through Adrian Leonard at the moment with the first 2 scores of the game coming from his boot. That was maybe possibly a bit tad ambitious. Maybe a bit more approach play would have been ideal for Lahardane.
Sean Fahey goes long to Matthew Keady, who was on his own but couldn't get the ball in, and Chris Rowland, who's seen plenty of the ball in the opening stages of this game, feeds it in, and Shane Loftus is coming outside the 45 and trying to release Mark Noon. Mark Noon with Brian Mullen for company. He's trying to go left, he's trying to go right, and good defending by Kilmaine. But Shane Loftus still has the ball, and he's surrounded by Kilmaine. Over carries. Good defensive work there from Kilmaine.
Yes, they had him well cornered there, and there was no way out for him, and they were lucky to get a free there out of it. But both defences kind of on top at the minute, and there's a lot of settling down yet at the moment. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it pans out. Kilmaine on the attack now again.
Right-footed, Ja Mullen trying to swing one over off the post, drop short. Brian Maloney can't pick it up, but it finds its way into the hands of Renault Flannery, who feeds it back to Maloney, who feeds it into Joey, blocked down by the Lahardane defence, but Joey Maloney is trying to get it back, but out comes the Conor Coleman with the ball, so it's a free out for Lahardane. McKellen there get the game back moving very quickly. Lahardane not hanging around it. As soon as there's a free, they're moving it quickly. Ball in the hand of Tony Deaver, faced up by Matthew Keady, but that's poor pass inside, and Jarlath McDonough cut it out. Tomas Fahey into midfield, back to Matthew Keady, switches it out here to the left hand side to Matthew Mullen. Joey Maloney, diagonal ball in over the top, trying to find Brian, but it's going to be tight battle inside there all day. Coming away with it is Barry Leonard. The full back line doing their job, marshalling that space very effectively, and Lahardane can start again in the middle of the field. Out James Mahan, who finds himself out in the middle trying to get on ball. There's nobody in the full forward line at the moment, but Matthew is trying to deliver a short ball in, but cut out. Well, Sean Fahey came out to pick it up. It looked like as a cross come shot, and I think he was caught in 2 minds and neither worked. So Kilmaine, Brian Mullen to Tomas Fahey. The intention is look for Michael Hession, deliver it quick, and he's that bounce big ball, but he's kept it in hand, and he slips it to Ja Mullen, and Ja looking to get the ball in his hand, but he's being harassed very well by Barry Leonard. Arnon Flannery, he has options across the field, gives it to Joey Maloney. Joey right footed just inside the 45, and that's to the left and wide. Kilmaine being restricted, very unlucky there in the state. Come off the post, nobody there, couldn't quite get a grip on a goal opportunity.
That's right. Lahardane have an extra defender back there at the minute, and there's nothing going soft there at the moment. So they just have to try and channel it low through the middle all the time,
Aaron Murphy being tightly marked by Matthew Mullen. Matthew Mullen is away, being tracked by Aaron Murphy. Slips, but the referee said it's over, carrying from Matthew Mullen, so it's going to be a free out for Lahardane. Conor Coleman bringing the ball up as the Kilmaine players hadn't retreated the necessary distance, and Lahardane go across the park to Matthew Queenan. Long ball delivered by Paul Coleman, well held by corner forward, and they're coming around the outside. It's Mark Noon. He's tracked and he's fouled, so it's going to be a free in on the 30-metre line, and a bit better from Lahardane, a bit better sequence of passing.
Yeah, that was an excellent sequence of passing there, and that's one thing that Lahardane really needs to exploit, is the pace of Mark Noon there in the wing forward position at number 12. We haven't seen him play his best stuff in the semi-final or in the quarter-final, so I think maybe Kilmaine may not know an awful lot about him, but in Lahardane he's very highly respected, and when he gets the ball he can burn past any player and get a score.
So be a chance for Lahardane to tie the game up at 3 points apiece. 13 minutes gone in the first half of the Mayo Junior Championship final, sponsored by the Breaffy House Resort and Spa. And that's over the bar, and that's a tied game. Both managements have been running onto the pitch issuing instructions, so they're obviously trying to just tighten things up and make sure that passes and players know their roles. But sometimes that goes out the window in the hustle and bustle of a county final.
Yes. The kick-outs are very important. There's a lot of breaking ball. There's no clean winning. That was a great fetch there by Kilmaine. The first one they won in the middle of the field.
Tomas Fahy winning that mark there. They're trying to release Michael Hessian, but the ball was a bit stray, and coming away with the ball is Barry Leonard, but it's going to be Tony Deaver in the centre back position, and Lahardane economical in possession like they were in the semi-final, just trying not to keep the ball, keep it simple. Tony Deaver back helping out his defence, and coming away there is Barry Leonard being chased down by Michael Hessian, and Lahardane have worked the ball to the far side, and you have Paul Coleman getting to Noon, and he's met strongly Noon by Jarlath McDonough, but it's slipped off for a strike, and it's just tail to the right and wide. That's a third wide of the game now for Lahardane, but they're slightly getting a better foothold in the game.
Yeah, they've come into the game after a very nervy start. Finally there we're seeing a nice meticulous hand pass in there that we saw against Balla the last day. Much more positive from Lahardane. Need to get the scorers onto the ball and the players that can actually get a shot off and help Lahardane today.
Kilmaine go short, working the ball into the channels. Jarlath McDonough feeds it into Frank Burke. Burke gets the ball at the second attempt. It's almost cut out and gives it back to Jarlath. He won't thank him for that pass. It was a bit of a hospital pass.
Yes, it was a bit late as well there now, but Jarlath is down at the minute, but I expect him to make a full recovery. He'll be up in a few minutes.
Well, there's a break in play. We'll try and keep you updated with events around the county as players take on water. Bit of concern for Norman O'Brien here with his Jarlath McDonough corner back down. The players have been very... One of the players who's been quite prominent in this run for the championship has been Jarlath McDonough, and it'd be a shame if he has to come off.
It would be, but knowing Jarlath, it'll take a fair bit for him to come off now, because he's a deep, tough defender, and he won't give in too handy.
The kind of defender that you didn't fancy coming up against yourself.
That's right. He was, yes, he's up on his feet. I knew he wouldn't be down for long. He's made of tough stuff.
He just needed that breather when you get to that wrong side of that. Yeah. So it'll be a free for Kilmaine with Frank Burke. Gives it to Brian Maloney, coming out of the full forward position, trying to get something going for Kilmaine. Tomas Fahy pops it around the corner to Hessian, who's ahead of his man, and Philip O'Malley is going to have his hands full today with Michael Hessian, and he cuts inside on his left hand side, on his left foot, and that is a great score from Michael Hessian. Great move from Kilmaine, moving the ball from left to right across the pitch, and Hessian on his left foot, he's lethal.
Yeah, a good bit of direct football there, letting the ball do the work, letting the ball go long the first time, and they got the rewards out of it.
Kick out, won by Kilmaine. Ernan Flannery gives it back to Brian Mullen. Brian Mullen making inroads to this Lahardane defence, and he's going to have a go, right-footed, and that's over the bar from his winning the breaking ball in midfield. All of a sudden Kilmaine are 2 points up, and Lahardane are under a bit of pressure.
Yeah, the kick out from Joe Mulhern will need to improve in the next few minutes. Lahardane need to get hold of possession and keep hold of the ball and play their own style of play that I've seen them get to the final so far.
Another stray pass from Lahardane is swept up by Brian Mullins, and Kilmaine have possession of the ball back, and Lahardane have turned over the ball far too easy in the opening 15 minutes of this game, and it's a great ball into Brian Maloney. He spun his man, he's trying to engineer a shooting opportunity, but he recycles it out to Michael Hessian, and he's free out, says the referee. It's a touch on the ground, so bit of disgruntlement there, but he seemed to slip as he was about to take the shot, and then the ball was on the ground, and the referee said he touched it on the ground, so it's a free out, and Lahardane have a chance to get up the field and try and get a score, but another pass goes astray, and Lahardane have 4 turnovers in a blink of an eye, and Ernan Flannery's in and met well on a strong challenge from Barry Leonard, but it comes to Joey Maloney. His shot is blocked by Chris Rowland, and Kilmaine still have the ball, and they're trying to find the free man, and works it out to Frank Burke. Frank gives it to Matthew Keady, and he tries one from high, and the umpire signals it's over, and that's 3 quick scores for Kilmaine. Lahardane have turned over the ball far too easy in their own half.
Yeah, it's happening a bit too often now at the moment. Lahardane just need to settle the nerves and keep hold of possession and get the likes of Tony Dever onto the ball and bring through the likes of Matthew Queenan, who we have seen already run through at pace and help Lahardane get through the first half at least.
And we're just going to go to Stephen. And your observations of the game so far?
Kilmaine forward line, we talked about the talent earlier on, and they are moving a lot slicker now than the Lahardane lads. An awful lot of turnovers, as you mentioned yourself here, and at critical points in the middle third here, the field for Lahardane. They need to improve on that. The hand passing needs to be a lot slicker, and if they're going to stay in this game.
Thank you, Stephen. Joe, you have to be pleased so far with how the game is going. Kilmaine 3 points up and coming up to just 19 minutes gone in the first half.
Yes, it has been a good first 20 minutes, 19-20 minutes there, you know. It has been good football from both sides, you know, and both teams letting the ball do the work, and there's a lot of pace out there, and it's delicately poised at the moment.
Stephen, one thing that's notable, both teams, their wing backs have been to the fore in the opening stages, marauding down the left-hand, right-hand sides for both teams.
Yeah, they're getting up there, assisting their forward line and offering that option. Something you see at county level big time now, and definitely Kilmaine seem to be adopting that here today. Up front for Kilmaine they're starting to get the better, despite the efforts of Barry Leonard. He's having a great game there, and we're back into the action here again now, Tom.
Ball goes long, broken by Frank Burke, and Lahardane are struggling to get possession of the ball, but they eventually finds its way to Matthew Queenan, surrounded by Kilmaine forwards, and they turn over possession again, and Tomas Fahy tries to get Joey Maloney free, but the referee says there was a foul as the ball was played. Joey tried to punch it along the ground, and there's 2 players down injured at the moment, and another turnover Queeveen for Lahardane, and John Maughan won't be too happy with what he's seeing so far.
Yeah, the pressure from Kilmaine is really forcing Lahardane to turn over the ball far too often at the moment. You know, it's unfortunate to see. Possibly we saw Lahardane change their style of play against Balla last week. You know, they had a direct running game in the second half. In the first half they kicked the ball, so maybe John Maughan may think to adapt the style of play and get the ball into James Maughan, who is of course a great target man in there in the full forward line.
John Maughan is a keen tactician. What will he be saying to his team once he gets them in at half time?
He'll be looking for a lot more movement out of their full forward line up there. They are trying to run the ball down the wings there. After a shaky start there, they found a little bit of rhythm, lost their way now a little bit more. They're not attacking the middle channel here of Kilmaine at all. Kilmaine will be happy enough with Pat Kelly stood there in the middle of at the centre back position, man in the fort, as it were. They need to see a lot more out of James Maughan there. I don't agree with a couple of balls that were thrown in there on top of James. They're just 50-50 balls in on top of Derek O'Dea. Derek O'Dea's going to eat that stuff up all day. You got to be trying to out in front of him, you know?
Just give him something to run on to try and get him joy. Derek O'Dea's keeping it minding the house, as they say.
Yeah, Derek is a vastly experienced player, has been around the block for a long time. He has wore that number 3 for a long time, came up against a lot of tough opposition, so he's big experience back there, and he can handle it. He'll mop that up all day.
Michael Hessian adds to the Kilmaine scoreline. It's Kilmaine 7, Lahardane 3. We have just coming up to 22 minutes gone in the first half, and as we said, possession is paramount for Lahardane. They take an easy mark there from Matthew Queenan, but it was blocked on the kick, so the referee says it's a free from where it's landed. So Paul Coleman with the ball here. Again, a 50-50. The pass to Tony Dever, or to Matthew Queenan, was very tight, and the options that Lahardane are choosing are not giving them every chance to get the ball, and again the ball is nearly stripped from hand, and it's another turnover. Kilmaine are hunting in packs, and their defence is well on top here at the moment, and Erna Flannery kicks it around the corner inside to Hessian, and he's getting away from his man. He's cutting across Philip O'Malley, across the squares of Brian Maloney, who couldn't get his hands to the ball, and that was a goal chance there for Kilmaine.
Yes, if Brian had got his hands to that, he was just inches away, but you know, credit to the Lahardane defence there. They kept an eye on them all the way, you know.
Lahardane supporters are trying to encourage their team, trying to get something going. 7 points to 3. Kilmaine lead, and another turnover. Kilmaine are harassing and harrying and forcing Lahardane into mistakes, and Brian Maloney now in the right corner forward position, looking to switch the play to Michael Hessian inside the large square, but he's marked well there by Philip O'Malley, and Philip will come away with the ball, and he can pop it out to his wing back Chris Rowland. Roland met by Joey Maloney. Another 50-50 pass, and Roland goes for the return. He's been harassed and harried by Joey, and the referee said it's a free from where it was landed, and there's a Kilmaine player down in the middle of the field. It's just being seen to by the physio. Looks like it's Ernan Flannery. Didn't see what was happening, but again, Stephen Carlin, possession too easily turned over by Lahardane. 2 or 3 turnovers again there by Lahardane. They need to, look to me very nervy here. They need to settle down. If they're not happy to be kicking the ball in long, carry the ball. Be more assured with their hand passing. This is in stark contrast to last week, where they were very assured with their hand passing. Tony Deaver gets Lahardane underway again, and better ball inside, well taken by the corner forward Shane Loftus, who cuts and turns on his left foot, and that's a great score for Lahardane. They haven't scored for about 12 minutes, and they desperately needed that score, and Conor Loftus is the man who steps up.
Yeah,
Shane Loftus, apologies.
An excellent score there from Shane Loftus. That's exactly what he's capable of, playing for Lahardane for many years now. He's one of the most experienced players, and every time always reliable from that left boot.
Long kick out long, beats both men. 2 players go for it, 50-50, and Cha Mullen comes away with the ball, and he's tearing into the straight down the centre of the fence. He's a player outside him, but it's well intercepted by Barry Leonard. But he gives away possession again, and it's touched on the ground, I think it was what the referee was saying. But Barry Leonard, after doing the hard part, he then coughs up possession again.
Yeah, Barry has been has been performing very well there at full back, but it's the story of the first half so far is Lahardane turning over possession, just haven't been winning the breaks, and it's very unfortunate, and that's why Kilmaine are ahead at the moment.
25 minutes gone in the first half, 7 points to 4 Kilmaine lead. With an injured player down, and Cha Mullen, they wouldn't want to lose that player, Joe.
No, especially his running is very direct all day, and he's given a good performance there. I think he'll bounce back up though.
Just to emphasise the Shane Loftus points there from Lahardane, just on the replay, the way he got the ball, he cut inside on his left boot and put it right over the black spot. Lahardane could do with a couple more opportunities like that.
Yeah, and hopefully now with Shane Loftus in there in the corner forward position, he can get the ball to his hands and get on to his left boot and put the ball over the bar. It's just interesting to know as well, James Maughan has come out from the full forward position, as Stephen mentioned earlier. It would make more sense for him to come out to win primary possession, and then burst through and then get the ball into scorers with the likes of Shane Loftus and his cousin and brother up in the full forward line as well.
So John Maughan making the call for his nephews to come out around the field, and Stephen Carlin, possession has been Kilmaine's byword here at the moment.
Yeah, Kilmaine will be very happy with how that first half has gone there now. John will be just looking to get the guys in at half time and reset, as it were. Kilmaine's forward line is functioning very well. Their defensive plan is functioning very well. Their sweeper system is working really well in there. Their kickouts they're keeping it away from the middle of the field out to the wings, and that's working for them as well at the moment. They'll be very happy with this.
And Michael Hessian puts that over there and punishes the mistake again. And Joe, the Kilmaine forwards are setting the tone. They're harrying, they're harassing their respective backs and defending from the front.
Yeah, they're working very hard. They're chasing down everything, and there's moving there. They're after it. They're great support play. Playing against a small bit of a breeze, I'd say they'll be happy with the first half.
Chris Rowland gets the break, and he tries to get, as if to emphasise the point, he's surrounded by 4 Kilmaine players, and Kilmaine win the free, touched on the ground by Chris Rowland. So Kilmaine again get primary possession, as Caoimhín alluded to. We have to hope that it'll be better, and Brian Maloney takes a hit from Philip O'Malley but manages to get the ball one out, so it's going to be a free-in for Cha Mullen. Matthew Mullen is all alone on the far side of the field if they wanted to switch the play across the park. He's been told to go further in, and the ball eventually finds its way to him. Lays it off Joey Maloney. Joey, cute operator. Again, economical with the pass, but Pat Kelly that time has to do a little bit of work to keep possession, and gives a great hand pass to Jarlath Mullen, who's down on the ground a moment ago, and that's a right-footed score, and that's over the bar. And once again, from a Lahardane turnover, Kilmaine punish.
Yeah, and especially with forwards like Jar Mullen, you know, you can't give Kilmaine any more of an opportunity than they're already creating for themselves. You know, once the ball gets into his hand, it almost looks like it's going straight over the black spot straight away.
Joe Mulhern goes long, great mark taken by Frank Burke for Kilmaine, finds his midfield partner Tomas, and Kilmaine are on the move again with Ernon Flannery, and that's simple football. Catch it, pass it,
Yes.
kick it
over the bar. Simple, straightforward football. Yes.
10 points to 4, Kilmaine lead coming into the last minute of the first half, and whatever the referee is going to allow, and it's been a fruitful first half for Kilmaine. You'd have to say that Lahardane have been the masters of their own downfall a little bit, Stephen Carolan, and possession is not coming easy to them.
No, they're persistent with this kick-outs to the wing here, and they're being turned over time and time again. Time to go long out the middle to Tony Tiver, who was man of the match last week here at midfield. Definitely need to change that tactic. Brian Maloney is after winning the last turnover there. Brian is the wrong side of 30 no more than myself now at this stage. He's really leading the way.
Brian Maloney gets it back out to Joey, and Joey's going to have a go with his left boot, but it's going to go to the right, left and wide this time. But as we said, we're into the 30th minute of the first half, and the umpire, so the linesman is going to the referee probably just to check how long he's going to allow in injury time, just to confirm with him. As Stephen Carolan alluded to, the kick-out strategy for Lahardane hasn't worked to the wing, so they may have to change it up. It looks like the last one, Joe Mulhern, it did go long, but it did result in a turnover and a score for Kilmaine, so he's going long again, and this time Kilmaine win again with Matthew Mullen breaking ball for Frank Burke into Tomas Fahy, loses it but gets up. No challenge. He's allowed to spread the play very well to Ernon Flannery. He has Joey Maloney available. Not a ball that Joey will thank him for when he gets to talk to him, but keep possession of the ball. Matthew Mullen, and this time to Jarlath Mullen again with his left boot, but that one's going to tail off and wide. So we're into injury time in the first half, and Norman O'Brien is out there just telling his players to calm down in possession of the ball. It's a 6-point lead, and you'd have to say that John Maughan won't be happy going in at half time 6 points down.
No, he'll certainly look forward to getting the players into the dressing room and having a word and seeing what he can make in the second half, see if he can make any changes. Cormac Riley, of course, is on the bench. He scored 2 goals in the last game, an important player for Lahardane to bring on.
James Maughan trying to make a difference, but Matthew Keady for company it's going to be a good contest. Shane Loftus inside, and they're trying to engineer an opportunity and trying to find Keith Loftus, but that ball will trickle out over the sideline and go wide, and that's the only 3 minutes is the call from the 3 minutes of injury time. We're into the 31st minute, so there's 2 minutes left to play in this opening half of the Breaffy House Resort and Spa Mayo Junior A Football Championship Final, coming to you live on Mayo GA TV. If you want to get in contact with us, please do on Twitter at Mayo GA TV, or on Facebook, or on our website. Sean Fahy looking for Tomas. Ball breaks, but Kilmaine get it at the second attempt. Ernon Flannery surrounded by 3 black and amber, but he still manages to keep possession of the ball, and Jan Mullen thought it was going one way, but it came the other. Eventually breaks to Brian Mullen, and Brian Mullen just into David Hughes, the captain, and that just Kilmaine keeping possession of the ball, trying to see out these last few seconds of the first half. Michael Hessian wins the ball out in front, gets his own rebound, goes across the field to Tomas Fahy. Tomas Fahy to Brian Maloney, long-time servant of the club and spent a bit of time in Dublin. Ball in the right corner forward position with Conor Coleman for company. It switches the ball out to play. Nobody's picking up at the moment for Lahardane. They're allowing Kilmaine the ball, but they managed to get a block there, and they're on the counter-attack. A goal just before half-time would make a big difference here in this game, but snuffed out there by Jarlath Mullen. The referee says bring it up. There's still no support or full forward inside, and that's easy for Jarlath McDonough. There wasn't a single Lahardane forward inside the 21, and it made it far too easy for the Kilmaine team to turn over the ball and defend strongly, and the sweeper cuts out the ball, and the referee says it was a foul on Valerie Leonard as he went for it from Michael Hessian. But you'd have to say, Queven, that not a single forward inside the 21 and an attacking opportunity.
Yeah, it was very unfortunate to see there. You know, Lahardane certainly need a few more forwards up there so they can take possession, and for players out the middle of the field to supply the ball to them and get a few scores off, because 6 points going in at half time, it's not exactly what anyone would have wanted from Lahardane.
we're playing whatever Paul Lydon from Kiltramont, the referee, is allowing for injuries and changes, and that's a high challenge from Frank Burke, and Paul Coleman is down, and Paul Lydon is calling Frank Burke to him. It's a yellow card. The crowd don't like it. And Joe?
Yeah, well, I think it did tackle him high. It was a yellow card. I think it's a fair decision.
Kilmaine?
Yeah, I think it was a very high tackle, and Paul, you know, an important player running through from the wing back position, running through like that, was not nice to see. You know, it was a very poor tackle, but you know, a yellow card was given.
Coming up to 34 minutes gone in the first half of the Junior A Championship final. Kilmaine with a 6-point lead, with an opportunity for Adrian Leonard to cut it to 5. It'll give Lahardane a little bit of hope just before half time, and you'd have to say that Norman O'Brien will be the happier of the two managers with the way his team has performed. John Maughan will be telling his players they need to calm down in possession and not turn the ball over so easily, particularly in their own half of the field, where Kilmaine have punished them on several occasions. And Paul Coleman is just still receiving attention. He seems to be okay. He's sitting up. He's just waiting for the all clear, and I'd say once this free is taken, it'll be half time, as we're approaching the 35th minute here of the first half. Liam will be speaking to both Queeveen and Joe at half time, as well as Stephen Carroll, and getting their thoughts, and we'll bring you up to date on the other scores around the county. So Adrian Leonard with what should be the last kick of the ball for the first half. See if he can. It's on its way, and that's over the bar, and that's a 5th score for Lahardane, and Paul Lydon blows the whistle for half time in the Mayo Junior Football Championship. Kilmaine 10 points, Lahardane McHale's 5 points, and we hand over to Liam Horn.
Thank you, Tom. Yes, it's a 5-point lead for Kilmaine, and it could be more, Stephen. I think it's fair to say they were the dominant side in that game.
Yeah, they've been shooting for fun really there at the posts, at the Lahardane posts. Their forward line has really clicked here today. Brian Maloney has added so much to that forward line. I was doubtful about his fitness levels. He's turning over there, he's chasing guys back, harassing indeed it's been a feature of the Kilmaine team, the work rate of their forward line in chasing the Lahardane boys down, hounding them and turning it over. Lahardane are struggling to get it over that midfield area and break down the Kilmaine sweeper. The Kilmaine sweeper is working really well for them there. They're Kilmaine playing with a 2-man full forward line, Lahardane going with the standard 6-man forward line, and it's just not working at the moment. They're going to have to tactically reassess there at half time.
Do you think nerves have affected Lahardane?
Big time there. The first 10-15 minutes there, Lahardane were very nervy coming into this. You could tell lots of misplaced passes. As I said earlier, that was in contrast to what we were talking about last week here. Their passing was crisp. It was to the man, to the chest, not down at the ankles or the knees. It's a little slower. The passes are a lot slower, and they're invariably a little bit behind their man. So it's just a bit of quality really that they've left after them as well, and maybe the nerves are contributing to that.
So from a Kilmaine perspective, they go in 5 points is the good, but probably a little bit disappointed they're having a bit more tacked on. They had a great goal chance for Michael Hession, did good work, flashed it across. Brian just couldn't get a hand to it.
Michael Hession has the beating of his man again here today. He's been standing out, but Brian Maloney very unlucky, the poacher supreme himself, not to get his hand on the end of that. Lahardane will be happy enough, not happy enough, but they'll be lucky to be going in there now.
The tie could be a lot further out for them.
Absolutely. A goal there, and it was good night Vienna for Lahardane. They're still in it. I mean, there's 5 points in it. It's well within their grasp, but they're going to have to really change it around there at half time.
Okay, we'll grab your thoughts again before the start of the second half. Joe McGrath, Kilmaine clearly the better side, 5 ahead, and could be further ahead.
They could be further ahead, yeah. They played nice football there in the first half, took good scores, a good spread of scores from their forwards, but there's still good 35 minutes left in this game, you know, and if Lahardane could get a goal, you know, this game is right back in the melting pot, like, you know, and the only advantage Kilmaine will have in the second half as well, they'll have a slight breeze, you know, which may help them with their shooting a small bit, but this game is still, I wouldn't say it's done and dusted yet, you know.
Who has impressed you most for Kilmaine?
I think the whole lot of their forward line there has really they've hunted, they have ran and they've harried and put pressure on the Lahardane defence there, and I think that has been really stood out for me. It was their forward line there that hunted impacts.
They combined quality play with that hard work as well.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, and they took some good scores there, some great scores there from play, and it all started, I suppose back in the full back line, but they worked it up well, direct football, direct shooting, and it paid off.
Kilmaine have done a lot right. You have to say Lahardane just haven't produced much yet.
Yeah, it's been quite a disappointing first half from Lahardane perspective. The strong players haven't gotten onto the ball. The tactics that we've seen deployed successfully by John Mahan haven't come to the fore yet. A lot of turnovers in the first half that were disappointing to see, and possibly if it wasn't for the work of Barry Leonard in the corner back, Lahardane could be further down. But it's 5 points. It's half time and it's the county final. They're going to go into that dressing room. They're going to be buoyed by John Mahan and the leaders of this team, the likes of Gary Ogden. They're not going to come here, sit down and lie down and just come out for the second half. They're going to expect a fight from Lahardane and a strong fight back. And there will be a change, I will imagine, with the likes of Cormac Riley. I saw him warming up. Came on and scored 2 goals in the semi-final. Prolific goal scorer and a poacher. In there in the corner forward position, and he could be exactly what Lahardane need, because the goal would change the game at this stage.
Yes, I'm joined by Mike Finnerty as well too from the Mayo News. He is the sports editor of the Mayo News, of course, and well-known Sky and Air TV and local streaming and Mayo GA TV commentator as well. Michael, what are your thoughts on that first half?
A really enjoyable first half, Liam, I suppose, first and foremost. Kilmaine came flying out of the blocks, as they were always, I suppose, likely to do. Adrian Leonard then, I was very impressed with Adrian Leonard once he got up and running, and it did look for a while like Lahardane were starting to cause Kilmaine a lot of problems running from deep. Paul Coleman has done a really good job, or had done a really good job early on Ja Mullen. But it's amazing, once Tomás Fahy, I thought, in the middle of the field got going, and once Pat Kelly settled into that groove of his playmaking, spraying the ball around, never takes a wrong option. Once Kelly and Tomás Fahy got a grip, I thought everything started to click. Ja Mullen kicked for me the score of the game, an outrageous point. Despite Kilmaine's best efforts for the second week in a row to confuse us and have Colin Hughes and Ja Mullen wearing the opposite numbers, must give a shout out to the Mayo News, the only local paper last week to have it right. The Ja Mullen got 1-5 a man of the match, and not Colin Hughes, who...
All politics is local, huh?
I think Colin was dining out, Joe, on that man of the match award last week. But it was Ja that got that super point, and Michael Hession in the corner has got great wheels. So I don't think the few days in Dubai has done Brian Maloney any harm. My spies out there told me he was on his best behaviour, bed early every night. He was on the still water, and no surprise to see Norman and the lads start at him today. I mean, so much experience, and he and Pat Kelly, they've settled in nicely. They're doing the simple things well. And 10-5, probably a fair enough reflection.
Is there a way back for Lahardane?
Oh, I think there is, yeah. I think they've got a couple of very dangerous forwards. Adrian Leonard is obviously the pick of them. And when they run from deep and when they run from those wide positions, they are causing Kilmaine problems. But Jan McDonough is having a great game, I think, as the free man back there. I'm not sure. John Mahan might have to look at that, because Ja is built now for playing that role. He's sitting in front of Derek O'Dea, he's mopping up the breaks, and he's using the ball very well. But when they do attack at pace, and Leonard is the man, Adrian Leonard is definitely their main man. But I do think Kilmaine were lucky with that card for Frank Burke. Whatever colour I thought should have been shown, it wasn't a yellow anyway. You could make a case it was a black, perhaps. But as Joe knows, you got to get the bit of luck in on big days like this, and it's Kilmaine's to lose now, 5 up. Would be lovely to see them mark the anniversary of the club with the win. But the one thing I would say, the way Barry Leonard is playing there for Lahardane, he's like a man who hasn't much interest in seeing Kilmaine follow their dreams. He's had a terrific game at cornerback. Set up for a good second half, but Kilmaine's to lose at this stage, yeah.
Okay, Lahardane back out on the field. We'll get Kilmaine is going to keep an eye on the changes, if we have changes. And yeah, Gary Moore had a big win, 4-13 to 111. They're into the semi-final. That's a big win for them. So we've Claremorris, we've Mitchells, and we have Gary Moore, and we have to wait the winners of Hollymun Carramore versus Ballinrobe. Final word from you, Kilmaine. Mike Finnerty says there's a way back, but he also says it's Kilmane's to lose. Will they bring Cormac Riley on direct, do you think? Is he coming in straight away?
I just see him there. He's walking out number 17. He seems to be still warming up. Whether he's going to come into the fray from the start of the second half or not, it remains to be seen. He came on the last day in replace of Mark Noon, who's gone onto the ball a few times, caused one or two problems there in the corner by winning a free for Lahardane. Whether or not it'll be him who comes off, I'm not too sure, or Cormac Riley being choose as of yet. But Lahardane do need to change something, and whether he's the answer or not, time will tell.
Okay, Moy Davitz 114, Park Keelogs Crumlin 10 points. They're into a semi-final as well, and Tom has another one for me as well. So the final score there is 117 to 115. It got a bit closer, but Moy Davitz held on. Joe, Kilmaine, what can they spring if they have to spring something?
They have a few options from the bench, but I don't see any change in the Kilmaine team as of yet. And I think if we can get enough ball into that full forward line, maybe we can get a goal, and maybe put this game to bed.
Stephen.
Cormac Riley is warming up there. Yeah, it looks like he's going to be introduced. For me, it's around the middle third that Lahardane need to. Gary Nocton was lucky to get his red card rescinded from last week. Himself and Tony need to really lift it there at the middle of the field if Lahardane are going to get a foothold in this game.
Okay, well that's it. 5-point lead for Kilmaine, 10 points to 5 here in the Breaffy House Resort and Spa Mayo Junior Championship Final. And hello to Tora Tokan watching in Birmingham from Brendan Dowd, who's here and busy in Elvery's McHale Park. And with that, back to match commentary team of Creevin Rowland and Joe McGrath, Stephen Carlin and first Tom Carney.
Thank you, Liam. We're just waiting on Kilmaine, and John Maughan is out in the field talking to his players. He still has his Under Armour on. He's not feeling the cold as most of us would be. I think, as we said, if he had the short sleeves on, he'd be more he'd be more like a certain Jim McConnelly if he was wearing the blue. But if we're all looking that good at his age, Stephen, I think we'd be looking all right.
Yeah, John looks after himself. He's big into his fitness, and he's just trying to keep the troops street up there. Kilmaine have left them out onto the field, and trying to get, I suppose, whatever little bit of spirit they would have. They're trying to diminish it whichever way they can, and it's an old tactic. Let them out and see what happens. But John's just trying to keep them focused, and hopefully they need to start really well here now, Tom, in the second half. They need the first 10-15 minutes needs to be theirs.
I'm sure that's the expectation. Norman O'Brien will be telling his players, that weather the storm for the first 10-12 minutes and then start building again like they did in the first half. The breeze will be slightly with Lahardane, and will that make any factor?
I don't think so. I don't think it'll make a big difference. I think Norman will have them in there. He'll have them. He'll be telling them, okay, we won the first half now, and he'll be getting them G'd up to go out and perform for the second half. And he knows if he can do that, that this county title is within their grasp.
And Queeveen, you'd be hoping for a fast start from Lahardane, and I'm sure John Maughan has told them to come out of the blocks and get Cormac Riley on the ball. He was lethal in the semi-final, getting 2 goals.
He was, and he was the same in the quarter-final against Balla as well, getting a goal after he came on late in the game. It's exactly what he's capable. He's a real out-and-out corner forward, a proper poacher, and he's a very exciting player. As soon as he gets one-on-one with a goalkeeper, he's not going to miss. So hopefully he can come on and make an impact and change the tide for Lahardane at the moment, because things are looking quite bleak at 5 points down at half-time.
The referee and his umpires make their way out to their position. Lahardane were out very early, even ahead of the match officials. And for Kilmaine, who, as was mentioned earlier, have a celebration this year as a club, it'd be great to have the first of 2 pieces of silverware that could be coming your way.
Well, it'd be nice, surely, but as I said, there'll be 30-35 minutes left in this match yet, and one goal either way will have a big bearing on this game yet, and I think there's a goal in this game, if not 2, and hopefully one of them or 2 of them might come our way.
We're still waiting for Kilmaine as Paul Lydon does his stretches. The 80th anniversary of Kilmaine GA Club would be a nice way to sponsor it, and with Lahardane, who were formed in 1966, It's only a fairly young club in the realms of GA clubs around the county.
It is, yeah, and never winning an adult junior title. So today is a very important day for Lahardane as well as for Kilmaine, who are celebrating their 80th birthday.
So good wishes on all sides to all. So that's what the GA is about. And Kilmaine hit the field, and we're just going to have a quick look and just see if there's any changes on the team. If there's any changes to be made, we're just going to have a check of the teams to see how they line up. As we said, Cormac Riley's on for Lahardane, and we'll see who it looks like. Yeah, it's a David Hughes, and we're back underway. And from the throw-in, Tony Deaver has the ball. So the first possession of the second half goes to Lahardane. Deaver kicks possession away. But if that's the way the second half is going to go, it could be a long half for Lahardane. They're trying to release Brian Maloney inside, but that's well covered back by Barry Leonard and just pulled down by Brian Maloney with there's simply no need. The ball was probably going to go out in the full, and he could have left well alone.
Yes. I don't know what action the ref is going to take here now, but it was definitely a drag down. It's a yellow card, yes.
Stephen?
Very lucky there, Brian. Very lucky.
Very lucky is the call indeed, and Kilmaine could have had two of black cards potentially, but Lahardane possessed with the short play, and they're surrounded by Kilmaine, and this time it's going to be a free out, quickly taken. And I think the instruction from John Maughan would have been, let's get going as fast as we can, and Gary Naughton delivers a quick ball outside. Great turn, and again it's a first time ball inside, trying to find James Maughan, but there's a push in the back there on him, on Derek O'Dea, but the referee has blown the whistle. It's a free, and sprinting over to get the ball is Keith Loftus. So it's obvious that the instruction from John Maughan would have been get the ball and get it delivered quickly into the opposition half.
Yeah, it was a great play there. James Maughan trying to get into that ball, but was impeded by the Kilmaine full back. Now is another chance for Adrian Leonard to add to his tally so far.
Adrian Leonard just on the 21 yard, and that's over the bar. The first score of the second half goes to Lahardane, and it's a 4-point game, and it's a substitution. Cormac Riley is indeed coming on. They're making the change with just a couple of minutes of the second half gone, and being called ashore is Keith Loftus, and David Hughes will probably watch the tape of the game and knows what Cormac Riley's capable of. 2 goals, and Kilmaine go long for the kick out, and it's won by Mark Noon, and there's Matthew Keady and Barry Leonard are involved in a scuffle just off the ball, but Lahardane are inside with Adrian Leonard, and that's a second score in the blink of an eye. You can hear what it means to the Lahardane crowd as this game closes to 3 points.
Yeah, that's exactly what Lahardane need to keep on doing. James Maughan there, when he's getting the ball like that, he's a very intelligent footballer, can sense players around him, always plays incredibly well with Adrian Leonard. It's like they're synced up together, playing together for so long, and Adrian, incredible scorer. As Mike Flaherty said at half time, he's the man we need on the ball to help Lahardane in this game.
2 quick scores for Lahardane, makes it a 3-point game in this Breaffy House Resort and Spa junior final, and that's a smart kick out to Ernan Flannery, who releases it quickly to Matthew Keady, who is in acres on his own, and he switches the ball to Jar Mullen, and Jarlath trying on his right foot, and that's an instant reply from Kilmaine. A fantastic move from Kilmaine, as we said in the first half. Catch it, kick it, pass it, score it.
Yeah, a fantastic score there out on the right wing here from Jarlath Mullen. Yeah.
Joe Mulhern finding his target. The referee says there's a foul by Matthew Keady, so Barry Leonard gets Lahardane moving again, and it's noticeable that the slow build-up is gone, and every time the half-back line get possession of the football, they're looking to deliver it at pace, but that time it was broken down by Jarlath McDonough, and Kilmaine are on the attack. Jarlath and Joey Maloney, 2 of the elder statesmen of the team, find Tomas Fahy, who passes it around the corner to Michael Hession, and Hession comes in on his favourite left side, sells one dummy, but he's fouled, so it's going to be a free for Kilmaine. And Stephen Carolyn, you'd have to say that Lahardane have come out of the blocks quick.
They have. They've tacked on 2 good scores, but I feel they're a little naive there. They're playing with. They're allowing Kilmaine to play with a 2-man full forward line. Michael Hession won another lovely ball there, turned inside and bought himself a lovely free. This is going to take a little bit of the wind out of the sails of Lahardane again.
A yellow card there shown to, I think it was Paul Coleman, So Michael Hessian is still down, getting attention. It's going to be a free when the game resumes. It's 11 points to 7. Coming up to 4.5 minutes gone in the second half of the championship as Norman O'Brien and John Maughan prowl their respective touchlines. It looks like Kilmaine are going to introduce Darren Monroe, who is a member of the Ballinrobe All-Ireland Community School winning team, and he has a bit of pace.
He has pace. I don't know who is he coming on for now at the moment, but he will bring pace to that forward line.
So we're going to have the free, and Michael, it's a left footer's free, so he'll be taking the free. Seems to be okay, and we'll just wait and see what change Norman O'Brien is making with his management team of Martin Canny and David O'Loughlin, supported by Mark Butler and John Gerrard. Hessian to add to his tally, and that's off the post. The first to react is Ernan Flannery. He gets it in his hand, recycles the ball to Brian Maloney, who turns and puts that wide. So that's a bit of a let off for Lahardane, conceding the free. But here comes Darren Monroe, and it looks like it's Joey Maloney who's been called ashore. So it's an interesting change for it's Brian Mullen, sorry. So Darren Monroe will go to wing back, Mark Noon, who saw plenty of the ball in the first half and will be hoping to make a difference. So Tony Deaver grabs the ball, and they're trying to get things going. Lahardane are trying to engineer a score, and the ball hops kindly for Noon, who breaks the ball, gives it into James Maughan, who turns onto his left and beats Darren Monroe. Left foot, goal! And it's a goal for Lahardane. Darren Monroe couldn't cut it out. It went over the head. It eventually found its way to James Maughan, took 2 solos, cut inside and banged it in with his left foot.
That's exactly what Lahardane needed, and it comes at a very important time. An excellent goal there from James Maughan. The confidence he has once he gets from the ball to turn his man and then unleash an absolute rasper of a shot into the back of the net.
Possession won again by Lahardane, and you'll have to say that since they came out of the second half, they've come out like a train at 100 miles an hour, and that goal has just made this game come alive. It's a 1-point game, 1-7 for Lahardane, 11 points for Kilmaine, and they're going to have to respond as quick as they can as Lahardane play possession football now around the middle, finding the way to Gary Naughton. Tries to pop it around the corner, but possession is spilt, but Naughton goes back and retrieves his mistake, and he has a go himself from the right corner forward position, and that's going to the left and wide. And Stephen Carlin, you'll have to say the goal was very well taken by James Maughan.
Brilliantly. We were waiting for James Maughan to come to life here, and just at the time that Lahardane really needed him. Real shot in the arm for Lahardane. You can see the body language now. They're growing in confidence. The nerves are definitely gone out the window now. We have a game in our hands, Tom.
Joe, a bit of a coincidence that as soon as we take off Brian Mullen, there's a goal.
Yes. I think it all stemmed from the far side down here, where we had a chance of a point, and Lahardane came up, got a good goal, well taken goal, and this game is right in the melting pot.
Tomas Fahy loses possession of the ball to Matthew Queenan in the centre back, and Lahardane are looking to go long again, trying to hit Cormac Riley, but cutting across him is James Maughan, and if he can release him, Riley's in over the top, but he's surrounded by Kilmaine players. But great block down by Derek O'Dea as he tries to get up, and he's been fouled on the ball, and he eventually gets it up and he drives out. Derek O'Dea coming away with the ball, he pops it out to Pat Kelly, and Tomas Fahy can't keep hold of the ball, being hassled by the Lahardane wing back Paul Coleman, but eventually it's called a foul, so we're going to have a free in the middle of the field for Kilmaine, delivered quickly in towards Michael Hessian, who's hitting the back as he went to get that ball, and it's going to be a free and a scoring opportunity. And we'll just have a quick replay of the James Maughan goal. It was very well taken, very well worked. He took 2 solos, cut in on his left hand side and drilled it into the roof of the net. Very well taken, and Lahardane have made this final come alive.
Yeah, very much so. James Maughan with an excellent score there right into the roof of the net. I'm seeing Stephen Rochford, or one of his selectors here today, he'll have caught the eye there. Great piece of quality.
And Joe, Kilmaine need to settle down. Lahardane have been to the fore for the start of the second half and cut the deficit down to 1 point. That shot tipped over the bar. We're back to 2 points, but Kilmaine are going to have to up their game to reach the levels of the first half.
Yes, indeed. At the moment, it's all Lahardane for the second half. You know, the Kilmaine are going to have to get a grip around the middle of the field again and start giving in ball to their forwards.
Ball broke kindly there to Matthew Queenan, and Queenan gets Lahardane moving again and finds his way to Cormac Riley, who has the Kilmaine captain David Hughes for company. Queenan continued his run and he's been forced out by Hughes, and Cormac Riley is free, but his Tony Deaver is trying to recycle possession, but it's won back by Ernan Flannery, and Flannery is looking for Michael Hessian and turned inside, and they're working well. There is Barry Leonard tackling very well, and it's a free out for Lahardane, and Jarlath Mullen is furious with the referee and he's going to say it's a hot ball. Barry Leonard, for whatever reason, was trying to steal a few yards, and the referee decided that it was a hot ball, and Kilmaine come away with possession of the ball. Tomas Fahy hit by Leonard as he passed the ball. Hessian, Tomas Fahy up again, met by Gary Nocton, and the black and amber buzzing around like a hornet's nest in the half back line. Darren Monroe gives it to Pat Kelly. Kelly gets away from Aaron Murphy. Aaron Murphy couldn't stop it, and Pat Kelly takes a shot, and it's over the bar. A great score from Kilmaine, but it was a turnover ball, and it was a hot ball that cost Lahardane.
Yeah, you'd really have to question the referee's decision there to turn that Lahardane free into a hot ball. You know, Barry Leonard was just trying to make space for himself to take a quick free, and as Lahardane have been doing all day, and it's very unfortunate that's how it transpired.
Bit of concern on the Kilmaine bench for Tomas Fahy, who seems to be holding his right hamstring, but he's taken back his position in midfield, and Lahardane go short on the kick out and try to build again with Matthew Queen and trying to drive the team forward. That's Adrian Leonard, and there's a foul on the Paul Coleman by Jarlath Mullen, and Lahardane are not hanging around. James Maughan on possession of the ball has been quite to the fore in the second half, and he's one of their playmakers. They're looking to him to make a difference, but that time Matthew Keady breaks up the play. Pat Kelly trying to come out from the back position, and it's a free for Kilmaine, fouled by Shane Loftus, and Jarlath McDonough is trying to retrieve the ball, and the crowd are calling for a hot ball, but the referee is signalling it is a free. Coming up to 12 minutes gone in the second half of the Junior Championship final. Jarlath McDonough pops it to Matthew Keady. Keady looking to go along to Hessian again in the corner position, but Barry Leonard cuts across him, and Hessian is deemed to have fouled him. So it's going to be a free for Lahardane, and it's getting into a big good contest there between Leonard and Hessian. And Paul Coleman gets away from Brian Maloney, gives it to his fullback Conor Coleman. Conor Coleman met by Jarlath Mullen. It's going to be another free. The game is getting very scrappy in the last few minutes. A lot of frees, a lot of stoppages. Deaver looks to go along to Cormac Riley, and there was a tangle of legs, I think, and David Hughes and Riley went down, but there was no free, and Darren Monroe has possession, and he feeds it to Sean Fahy, the goalkeeper, and Jarlath McDonough moves it on and shoulder in the back of Frank Burke, so it'll be a free for Kilmaine. But in the last few minutes, Stephen Carolan, it's got very scrappy.
Yeah, Kilmaine are playing well here. It's good game management. They've taken the sting out of the Lahardane lads. The Lahardane lads, their tails are up, and Kilmaine are just weathering the storm now. They've managed to edge out a 3-point lead again here. So Lahardane need to start converting some of these.
Just there, the goal again for Lahardane, which has really brought this final to life. We'll have a look at it in a moment, and it's going to be there's an injury there, and there's a bit of concern for Lahardane, and you make.
Yeah, Shane Loftus is down there for Lahardane after that an altercation there with the Kilmaine defender. You know, hopefully it's not too bad. He's been treated there by the Lahardane physio, and hopefully he'll be able to carry on.
So as we look at the Lahardane goal again, that, as I said, brought this final to life, it was a great finish by James Maughan, and you'd have to say that the angle that he was coming in at to strike the ball with that power and that pace pass, Sean Fahy was a great score. And as you said, if Stephen Rochford or one of his selectors is around, it's a good way to get yourself noticed.
Yeah, not too many two-footed players as natural as James Mahan at the moment now. Up front there for Kilmaine, Michael Hession is still he's having a great battle with Barry Leonard. Michael's going to know he was in a game this evening, but Barry is he's really showing great leadership here, and Michael has taken the battle to him. He's not backing from it. So a great contest on there.
And Joe, Kilmaine seemed to weather that storm initially, and they pulled out another 3-point lead.
Yes, both teams would have scored 3 or 4 points there in the second half, but Lahardane would have got the goal. This game is still wide open for both teams,
JP Scott just letting us know they're watching in Scott's in Nahagower, sorry. The big difference between Nahamore and Nahagower, we had a couple of players on a Ballinrobe junior team once. We had a game in Nahamore and the boys rang and said, "We're here, where are ye?" We said, "We're in Nahamore." They said, "Oh, we're in Nahagower." So they had to jump in a car and come cross country. So Aaron, Mike and Jeff made a bit of a change. So there's a substitution. The injury was the bandages up, and he's made his way to the sideline, and that's bad news for Shane Loftus, coming off in a county final, but the game is back underway, and Brian Maloney wins possession out in front of Conor Coleman. He's trying to cut across him, and there's a jersey pull there, and you'll have to say that again, Brian Maloney showing great experience. He's certainly made an impact today.
Yes, he's playing very well there. A bit of experience there. Played for his free, I'd say, a small bit, and your man took the jersey. The ref had no choice but to give him the free.
Bit of frustration there, Queevy, maybe creeping in there.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of frustration from the Lahardane defenders at the moment. You've seen a very uncharacteristic pull back there from Conor Coleman. It was unfortunate to see, results in a Kilmaine free. Just a point to note there, Michael Coleman has come in for the injured Shane Loftus. He's not exactly he's not a corner forward. I say he'll play around the middle of the park and run with the ball and not exactly get too many scores, but
Jarlath Mullen taps that one over the bar, and it's going to be 14 points to Kilmaine, 1-7 to Lahardane. 16 minutes gone in the second half of the junior county final, sponsored by Breaffy House Resort and Spa, live on Mayo GA TV. And Stephen Carolan, Kilmaine have got over that initial run of Lahardane.
Yeah, they've weathered the storm. They're 14 points up. They're 2 points away from the magic number, which is 16. That wins 95% of Gaelic matches. Lahardane need to tack on a few scores if they want to stay in this now.
James Maughan left-footed from the right corner forward position, and that just goes over the end line and wide, and 16 points is the magic target, as Stephen Carolan alluded to there. But Lahardane's initial burst of pace and energy, and Kilmaine have weathered the storm of the goal very well, and you'd have to say, Queevy, that Lahardane need to up the level, up the intensity just a small bit more.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate that the Shane Loftus injury seems to have broken Lahardane's momentum at the moment. Need to get the ball into James Maughan's hands. We've seen how important a player he is and how skillful he is. Unfortunately, that shot was just far too ambitious for him, but hopefully he'll have another chance in the next few minutes.
Joey Maloney wins the ball out in front. He has Matthew Keady free running up the sideline. Nice handpass ball inside to Jack Mullen, and he's driving forward and carrying the ball, and Ernon tried to get it to Matthew Keady but turned over, and Lahardane win the ball back, and Tony Deaver has the ball in his hand, and he's trying to get Lahardane going. He's looking for runners, and you have to say that the half back line of Lahardane has got very static in the last few minutes. They're under severe pressure, and again that's harking back to the first half when the Kilmaine forwards were making the Lahardane backs work overtime in possession, and Michael Hession from the left corner forward position is trying to chase down the runner, and Adrian Leonard is trying to get an influence on this game, but Kilmaine are back defending in numbers, and that's a snapshot from out wide again, and it's gone wide. The umpire has signalled it as wide. It was signalled wide. The ball had gone out. Cormac Riley tried to keep the ball in, but again another ambitious shot from a very tight angle.
There's 2 or 3 chances now that are gone a begging, and that's really the crux of it for Lahardane today. They need to be putting those over.
Looks like John Maughan is getting Gary Mulhern ready to come into the action, Queevy.
Yeah, Gary coming in the back. It's a very strong defender. Hopefully he can gain possession when the ball is coming in there. Lahardane are having a lot of issues at the back at the moment. Every time Kilmaine go forward, they look likely to score.
The ball broken by Gary Naughton, and he retrieves his own break, and he tries to find James Maughan, and it's well held by James, and he's 2 Kilmaine players for company, but the referee says that it was a foul by Matthew Mullen, so it's going to be a free for Lahardane. Adrian Leonard with the ball in his hand. It's a 4-point game coming up to 19 minutes gone in the second half. If you want to get in contact with us, you can on Twitter at MayoGATV or on Facebook at MayoGATV.com, and that's hit the crossbar, and Darren Monroe's out in front of Mark Noon, and it's going to be a free out, and the substitution is getting ready to be made. Unlucky there for Adrian Leonard.
Yeah, very unlucky there from Adrian, and just the story of the game really that the breaks haven't been falling for Lahardane. You know, the ball didn't fell to a Kilmaine man. Unfortunately, no Lahardane player was available to put the ball over the bar, and now it's free out for Kilmaine.
Aaron Murphy, the man being brought off. The Lahardane crowd applaud him as he makes his way to the stand here at McHale Park. Tomas Fahy pops up the line to Jarlath Mullen, and Jarlath trying to get away from Paul Coleman. They've had a good battle today, and ball into Brian Maloney, can't keep his feet, and Conor Coleman in the left corner back position gives it to Matthew Queenan, to Paul Coleman coming across their own defence, and that's a risky tactic when the Kilmaine forwards are trying to turn over ball, but they eventually get the ball into midfield to Philip O'Malley, and Lahardane build again through the middle. Tony Deaver to James Maughan, gets it at the second attempt, turns on to his left foot just inside the 40, and that's another wide for Lahardane, and that's their fourth consecutive wide, and you'll have to say these chances need to be converted coming into the last 8-9 minutes of the game.
Yeah, Lahardane, very good move there up the field, good interplay, and then a disappointing finish again. That unless they turn that around, Tom, they're in serious bother here.
Norman O'Brien will be happier of the two managers at this stage, Joe.
He would at this point in time, but he still has to see it out, you know.
Gary Naughton wins the break, and he releases Matthew Queenan, who's running straight for the goal. He shifts it inside to Adrian Leonard. Leonard back to James Monroe, this time on his right foot, and that's over the bar, and that's a great score for Lahardane. They make it a 3-point game, and another inspirational score from James Maughan.
Yeah, and you really have to applaud his confidence as well. You know, a lesser player wouldn't have taken on that shot after missing one beforehand, but it shows the character of James Maughan, that he's well able to take a score from that position, and he's been an important player for Lahardane today.
Substitution on the Kilmaine team, number 12 Colin Hughes is going to replace, I think, Joey Maloney. So Colin Hughes will be coming on in the wing back position in the programme there. He's named as wearing 10, but I think Jarlath Mullen likes the number 10, as Michael Finnerty and Mayo News were the only one that got that right in their report of the game the last day. But an easy mark claimed by Frank Burke, plays it in quickly towards Hessian, and both Hessian and Coleman win. Leonard missed the ball that time, and Brian Maloney, the body was willing but the legs weren't moving fast enough to get it. So it's going to be a sideline ball in front of the crowd here at Elvery's McHale Park in the Junior Football Championship, sponsored by the Breaffy House Resort and Spa. Lahardane, 8 minutes to go. They need a score. 1-8 Lahardane, 14 Kilmaine. Philip O'Malley to Tony Deaver to Matthew Queenan, trying to get James Maughan moving, but he's marked tightly by Derek O'D, and Kilmaine O'D comes away with the ball. Gives it to the captain David Hughes to Monroe, who gave a hospital ball to Tomas Fahy. It wasn't never getting there, and it's a free for Lahardane. Michael McDonald fouled, so James Maughan gives it to Adrian Leonard on the 45. It'll be another scoring opportunity, and Norman O'Brien and his management team will be concerned that they're giving away too many frees in the scoring half of the field. Leonard, and that's another wide, and that by Arcon makes it 6 wides this half, and one and a couple short, Stephen.
Yeah, 1 or 2 short as well. A few wayward passes inside to the full forward line. They were never on. Lahardane need to be tacking those on now. Kilmaine will be happy enough with what's going on here now. They're 4 points up, and they're just managing the game down.
111 to 14 points. The ball breaks for Lahardane. Colin Hughes can't stop Chris Rowland from getting away, and he's still trying to chase him. He gives away another free for Lahardane in the opposition half. Deaver, he has a free man outside him who's Gary Mulhern, and gives it back, and he's through, gives it into Michael Coleman, and it's a goal for Lahardane. A goal out of nothing. The ball was broken in the middle of the field. They drove forward, 3 passes inside on the corner. Number 18, Michael Coleman, exchanged passes with Gary Mulhern, and it was a fantastic score for Lahardane, and that's brought this game to life.
I'd like to apologise to Michael Coleman, because when he came on I said we wouldn't be seeing a score from him, and he's got one of the most important scores in Lahardane's history, I think, at the moment. That's an incredible moment.
That's going to make the last 5-6 minutes of this match a titanic battle. 2-8 Lahardane, 14 Kilmaine. We're all tied up, and Lahardane win the kick out, and Matthew Queenan is moving them forward, and Philip O'Malley, the cornerback, is playing more as a half forward. Tony Deaver looking inside again for Mark Moon. Lahardane are on a high. Adrian Leonard cuts inside on his right boot, but that's gone to the another left and wide. Kilmaine now have a last 5 or 6 minutes to try and pull this one out. Sean Fahey out to Matthew Keady, taken inside the 45. Play continues, delivers it up the line, looking for Ernan Flannery. Flannery marshalled by Philip O'Malley. He hits it first time over the top to Michael Hession, gathers it in. Barry Leonard tries to cut off his angle to goal. He cuts inside on his left boot, and that's over the bar. A great score for Kilmaine. We can have a quick replay of the Lahardane goal. It was a great bit of play between Mulderrick and Coleman, and as Queeveen said, good finish for Michael Coleman.
Yeah, it was excellent link-up play between Michael Coleman and Gary Mulhern. Adrian Leonard involved as well. It was very unfortunate though that Lahardane didn't keep the momentum going and get a score straight off the bat, but hopefully Lahardane can get a few more scores and get into this game.
Kilmaine respond with a score straight away. It's 15 points Kilmaine, 2-8 to Lahardane, with Lahardane on the attack. They're inside the scoring zone again, but they're swarmed around by Kilmaine backs, and coming away with the ball there looks to be David Hughes, the captain, but it's turned over in the melee. Adrian Leonard can't quite reach it. It falls to Mark Noon. There's a bit of a scrum down there, and it's going to be a free in. A couple of players went for the ball. I think it was Adrian Leonard who was fouled in the end, and it's going to be a free in front of the post for Lahardane to try and bring us level again.
Yeah, Lahardane aren't the type of team that you can say that they're out at half time, 5 points down. They've really brought the second half to Kilmaine. It's exciting times. The likes of Adrian Leonard now needs to step up and take the score. He's missed the last 2, but he's certainly well capable of putting this over the bar.
Leonard with the opportunity to bring the sides level again. That's over the bar. We're level, and Joe, we're coming into the last 3 minutes of the game. It's going to be very tight.
Yeah, it's there now for whoever wants it, whoever has the greater desire at this stage to go and win it. It's there for both teams.
Stephen Carlin, Lahardane, that goal has certainly raised their level of enthusiasm and maybe given them a chance to win this.
Absolutely, and they really have come into it here in the middle of the field. It was the problem area for them there at half time. They've really come into it. If you said to Lahardane at the start of the game you're going to be within level with Kilmaine at the stage of the game, that have taken it.
The momentum has shifted for the 5th time in this match, and Lahardane have a free in the middle of the field. Go back to Tony Deaver, pops it back to Adrian Leonard. Deaver takes the return ball, and Lahardane are breaking through again, and they're trying to find Mark Noon inside. It hops over his head, and that's tipped over the bar. There was a point for Mark Noon when it looked like it could have been a goal. A fantastic save by Sean Fahey with the tips of his fingers, and Joe, that was a fine save from Sean Fahey.
Yeah, if that went in, it was game over, but they're still in it.
Lahardane 2-10, Kilmaine 15. Lahardane lead. 2 minutes to go in the second half of this junior championship final. Kilmaine have possession, coming out to Tomas Fahey. Tomas has a Matthew Keady outside him, but he's been fouled as he's trying to get away. We can just see here the score that put Lahardane in front. The ball bounced. Mark Noon got a touch to it. Sean Fahey, the goalkeeper, did very, very well to tip it over the bar. But Lahardane in the lead with just under 90 seconds to go.
Yeah, it's for the first time in the game Lahardane are ahead. It's what Lahardane just can't do things the easy way. Coming into this point, playing great football, finally capitalising on the good play that they've been playing in the second half. Hopefully now Kilmaine don't get a score from this free. Lahardane can keep their heads and keep their discipline and see out the game.
Jan Mullen with the free in front of the Kilmaine dugout, about 55 metres out. He hits it well, but it's going to fall short. Taken by Brian Maloney. Recycles the ball to Ernan Flannery, to Darren Monroe, and it comes out to Ernan Flannery. Lahardane have defended, pulled everybody back in their own 45. Jarlath McDonough with the ball, tries to feed it inside towards Frank Burke. It's gone high in the air and he manages to win it. And there's Frank Burke's trying to break through 4 or 5 players. He tries to get a shot, it's blocked down, and the ball eventually comes its way to Lahardane, and Lahardane can break, but they have nobody in their own in the opposition half to win it. So coming across is Tomas Fahy, and Tomas cut across the player. He cut across Adrian Leonard, and the referee Paul Lydon will want to have a word. The Lahardane supporters are getting ready to come on the pitch. It's going to be coming up to 30 minutes played with, so we're going to see what the referee is going to allow. It's 30 minutes gone. Lahardane are up by the point, as we said, for the first time in the game. Tomas Fahy shown a yellow card for that challenge, and the linesman, the umpire, Kevin Killenny, the linesman, is coming in just to check what the extra time will be. We'll have it up on the board now shortly. So it's going to be a free for Lahardane on their own 45, and Joe, possession of the football vital for Kilmaine.
Oh, it is, yes. It's vital now that they get the possession back and try and work it up to their forwards.
Paul Coleman goes long. Well won in front there by Jan Mullen, and you'd have to say that they kicked away the possession and the ball's been brought up another 10, and Jan Mullen comes up. Cormac Riley's on the ground. The crowd are incensed. Brian Mullen can't keep hold of the ball. Frank Burke tried to win it, and coming away with the ball is Michael Coleman, the goal scorer, and Lahardane have possession of the football. 31 minutes played here in the final of the Junior Championship of 2017. Tony Deaver with possession, gives it to Matthew Queenan, gets the ball outside, and Lahardane can come on build with Chris Rowland. There's 2 Lahardane players down in their own half injured, but Chris Rowland is still going. He's trying to get around Derek O'Dea, loses possession of the ball. David Hughes, the captain, now has the ball, and Kilmaine can get on the attack. Matthew Keady comes across, but the ball is being read. Tight one to Pat Kelly and turned over by Paul Coleman, who's been very effective in the second half, and he delivers a great pass into Cormac Riley, who's tried to come up, get a goal, and Sean Fahy came all the way out to try and stop that score, but Cormac Riley couldn't get an opportunity to score. Lahardane need to calm down in possession of that ball.
Absolutely, their composure here now is leaving a lot to be desired. They need to know where they are now. They need to manage this game out.
Tomas Fahy carrying the ball. The crowd are whistling, trying to get the referee to blow up. We have 32 minutes played. Pat Kelly coming forward, gets it into Brian Maloney. Maloney marked tightly by Philip Connor Coleman, but Maloney's trying to scrum down. He says the ball was touched on the ground. It's going to be a free out.
I don't know.
Joe,
I'd question that decision.
The referee made the call. He's looked at his watch once. We're playing whatever he's allowing for stoppages. We're coming up to 33 minutes played, and Paul Coleman goes back to Joe Mulhern, and Mulhern will look to find Philip O'Malley out in the wing. It's a free in front of him is the substitute Gary Mulhern, who was involved in the goal. He feeds it up to James Maughan, and Maughan is breaking away, and he has Gary Mulhern available. A give and go. He's on the loop. He finds Cormac Riley out on the right hand side, and the goalkeepers come out again, and it was a 50-50 ball, and the referee has signalled a penalty. The referee has said it's a penalty for Lahardane. There was a high ball played in over the top. Sean Fahy came out, as he did a few moments ago, tried to stop the ball, caught the player, and straight away Philip Lydon, the referee from Kilchama, has given the penalty. We 33 and a half minutes gone. You'd have to be thinking, Stephen Carolan, that if this gets put in, we'll have a look at it again. We'll have a look at it again in a moment when we get the replay up. The players are having attention, but if this gets scored, it's game over.
Yeah, and I'd be advising my penalty taker here to tap this one over for a point if I was him. Just put that 2 scores between them and just see the rest of this game out.
Sean Fahey rushed off his line. He tried to stop up the danger, Joe. Caught the man high straight away. The referee said it was a penalty. We have a look at the incident now again as the ball was played in. The goalkeeper came out and he just caught the player. It was a penalty, and the Lahardane crowd are on their feet. They feel this is their chance, and one of the leaders, Adrian Leonard, places the ball on the spot, and Stephen Carolan advises tap it over.
Adrian's certainly a very prolific penalty scorer. Very rarely misses them, and I don't want to put a jinx on him at this moment, but maybe for the sake of all of us at the moment, tapping over the bar would be the best idea.
There can't be too much time left. We had 4 minutes on the clock. We're coming up to 35 minutes. Leonard puts it over the bar and the referee has blown the whistle. Lahardane come from behind to win by 2 points in the 2017 Junior A Football Championship final. Kilmaine, congratulations.
Thank you very much. It's an incredible achievement. A club that's only been founded in a short period of time, as you said earlier. Never won a junior championship title like this. You knew something was brewing when John Mahan shows up at the Porrick Guard dressing rooms in Buffino in January. Something had changed, the tide had changed, the positivity that he brought to it. But John Mahan will be the story tomorrow. It'll be all over the papers. But the true story is the likes of Barry Leonard, who played like a man possessed today in the cornerback position. The Paul Coleman, Gary Nocton, the stalwarts of the team. Adrian Leonard, an incredible performance, and James Mahan as well. It's an incredible achievement for Lahardane, and well done to all the players and management involved.
Joe, Kilmaine led for so long in that game.
They did, yes. They were clearly in control in the first half, but 2-7 from Lahardane in the second half was, there was only one team in it in the second half there all through. And when you score 2-7, it's a good score, and that's what saw them through, especially the 2 goals,
Clinical in the end, but you'd have to say that John Mahan got the Lahardane team in at half-time, got them organised, and he made sure that they knew what they were doing, but Kilmaine didn't play with the same intensity or the same fluidity that they did in the first half.
They didn't, but I'd say Lahardane up the tempo there, and Kilmaine were out on their feet there, and their fitness level there at the finish told.
Kilmaine 15 points, Lahardane 2-11. Lahardane are the 2017 Mayo Junior A Football Champions, sponsored by the Breaffy Hout Resort and Spa, and we hand it over to Liam Horan.
Thank you very much, Tom. Well, lots of drama there in that second half as Lahardane produced a fantastic performance. Joe McGrath said there was only one team in it, and I suppose overall in the second half they were magnificent and they stuck at it. They weren't scoring all the chances they created, but they got there in the end and had the luxury of being able to tap a penalty over the bar, Stephen, and they knew it was the last kick. He wheeled away knowing it was the last kick.
Yeah, sensible thing to do at the ends there. Kilmaine will be scratching their heads wondering how they let this one get away. A few changes were for Lahardane there at half time, particularly around the middle of the field. And when I say changes, I mean changes in attitude. There was no big tactical master stroke or anything like that. It was basically, lads, we're in the final, get the head up. Let's start getting a performance out of you out here. Tony Dever and Gary Nocton responded in kind, and through the middle there, they got their running game going. Their guys were running off the shoulder. There's a bit of bravery there, and one player for me, Barry Leonard, stood out from the minute the whistle was blown for Lahardane. He didn't give up. He epitomised. He was all about this win here today, and he didn't stop from the start until the very end. And when the spirit was lagging there in Lahardane, it was him that drove them on and kept them going.
Yes, and he is the man of the match today as well too. Joe, I'm going to get a final word from you because I know you'll be bitterly disappointed. Kilmaine's final record continues in a poor way, unfortunately. They were in a strong position at half time. I know you were cautious at half time as well. You were fearful Lahardane might come with something.
Yeah. Well, I was fearful of if Lahardane got a goal, and if they got a goal, they'd get right back into the game. Now, if Kilmaine had got a goal, it would probably have gone the other way. But it was Lahardane that got the goal. They got the second one, and it takes 7 points to come back from that, and that's a lot of scoring out there on a day like today. So 2-7 in the second half was the platform for their win there today.
Okay, Joe, thank you very much for joining us. Commiserations.
Okay.
Hopefully we'll hear you again.
Okay.
See you here again soon.
Thanks, Tim. Thank you.
Okay, Joe McGrath, one of the great Mayo forwards. All-Star in 79, our first attacking All-Star indeed in Mayo, the Kilmaine co-commentator. Caoimhín, we're going to actually keep an eye on the pitch to the Lahardane crew are out there celebrating. I'm sure you'd like to be out there, Caoimhín, but you've got official duties here. They were fantastic in the second half.
They were incredible. You know, the way they came out in the second half. They must have only been in the dressing room for about 30 seconds. You know, they were out straight away. I was afraid they were going to get cold. They were standing out waiting for so long, out before the officials. You know, they knew it.
Pull you short there, Caoimhín. Actually, we have a Facebook live stream of the celebrations as well. If people want to go there, we don't have it integrated into this broadcast, but it is on Facebook Live. Joe McGrath sportingly shaking hands with Caoimhín Rowland. So we have somebody down getting the Lahardane celebrations. Conor Dowd is down there. Sorry, Caoimhín.
Yeah, it's an incredible achievement. You know, in the second half, the Lahardane team came out like an entirely different outfit. Whatever was said at half time, you know, will probably be repeated and scripted throughout the village for a long time to come. But you know, the performance, you know, the changing point of that game, of course, was that James Maughan goal. You know, and it was Lahardane struggled to get him onto the ball in the first half, and every time he gets onto the ball, he just looks like an assured, experienced player. You know, at the age of 23, you know, he has his left foot, right foot. He's capable of a lot. His confidence on the ball is so important, and getting the score they did after getting that goal was incredible. As well as the introduction of Cormac Riley as well. You know, he created a lot of space in there in the corner forward position. Adrian Leonard as well had an incredible performance, as he always does in a Lahardane shirt. And that goal from Michael Coleman, you know, it's the goal that's won us the game practically. You know, so it's an incredible time. First county championship title in the club's history, and it's a great day for the village and it's a great day for the parish.
Great Conor Houlihan said when asked what are the 4 saddest words in English language, he said for the last time. He talked about his father, seeing him, looking back to see his father, I think working with Spuds in the field, and saying I looked back to see him for the last time. He knew he'd never see him again. For the first time, though, must be one of the great phrases in the lexicon as well, Stephen, for a club to win their first county title.
I imagine they are in dreamland down there at the moment, and fair play to them. A rural club, sticking at it and producing the goods here in a county final, junior final, their first win ever. They've been in I think 2 or 3 before, but they were well marshalled there by John Maughan. You alluded to the half-time, Caoimhín there, the half-time talk. I'd say it was very short. I'd say, lad, there was no tactical changes. Go out there, lads, and raise the performance, because it wasn't anywhere near where it needed to be in the first half. So, and that was a very short and simple message, I'm sure. And that's pretty much what they did in the second half. A couple of lads maybe who weren't having the games they would have liked to have today were replaced, and those substitutes contributed. One of them, I think, chipped in there, Michael Coleman, with the goal. So they'll be well happy with how everything went out there today.
We're going to get another look at the penalty, actually. The foul that led to the penalty. So Caoimhín and Stevie might join us there too, and Joe Yes is there. It was Kilmaine goalkeeper Sean Fahey who was drawn out the field. We're hopefully going to see that on the right there. So yeah, long ball in.
Yeah, he was really left with no option there, to be honest.
He had to come for the ball, Joe, really.
You had to come. He had no choice but to come for it, like, you know. But he caught him as well, like, you know, so it was in the square. Definite penalty, you know, but I think the damage was done before that, like, you know.
The tide was going out, Joe, wasn't it?
The tide was gone out before that. I think the first goal that Lahardane got there that brought them back into the game was for me the turning point of that game.
And Maughan, while at times he was struggling to get into the game, and that point has been made, and he was forcing it a bit maybe at times. He tried one from distance, but he did brilliantly on that run.
Yeah, he did, and he cut in, and it wasn't an easy shot to get it in the corner, but he hit it with power, he hit it with accuracy, and you know, that was the turning point. Yeah.
It's the mark of a great player, Joe, who decides my team needs a goal. Here's a 60-40 or 40-60 chance, and went for it.
That's it. You know, if you don't take your chances, you won't be there. And in fairness to him, he took his chances. He came to him, he took it well. And as I said, it was the turning point.
I think we'll have Barry Lillard here, the man of the match. He embodied, I think, the Lahardane spirit today. He epitomised the Lahardane spirit. And he was marking a good man as well, too.
Michael Hession was an incredible player for Kilmaine. He was brilliant in the semi-final. He was having a good game today until Barry got onto him. But as I said before, right from the outside, Barry epitomised what this Lahardane team are all about. Dogged determination and great spirit. He's
having a joke with Nigel Reid from Midwest Radio there. Barry, just join us here alongside here if you could, please. What do you want to say? I have no question for you. You say what you want to say.
I don't even know what to say, to be honest. It's just unreal. The joy that's down there, it's just absolutely unbelievable. It means so much. We've never won a county title in Lahardane. We've tried. We haven't got past semi-final stage. And it's just unreal. It's absolutely unreal. They deserve it. The fans, look at the amount that turned out for a junior final. It's just unbelievable. We've great support, always have. and to do it for them as much as us, just brilliant, unbelievable.
You had to work really, really hard for that one.
Oh yeah, like we knew when we came out first half, we were very much under the caution. We worked hard, we reassessed at half time. We knew there was more in us, we knew it was more in us. We didn't play as much as we could have. And we knew if we got one shot, maybe 2 shots at goal, that'd be it. We'd have the fitness for them as well. We wouldn't be found wanting, and thanks be to God we weren't found wanting.
Okay. They're calling up your colleagues. I want to bring you in here to look at Michael O'Connor's goal. Or maybe we need to let you down. You're a man of the match. I'm not sure if you heard that. You're a man of the match.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we've got the celebration down there. We'll get the goal in a few moments, Barry. We'll let you back to your teammates. Well done. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We will see Michael O'Connor's goal in a couple of moments. We just want to see what we can get of the presentation. A great Lahardane crowd here today. The Kilmaine players crestfallen over on the right hand side, watching the presentation. It was so nearly theirs. They had done a lot of good work at half time. Stephen, you made the point that Kilmaine had done so much well. With the sound isn't good enough to carry the speech, so you had made the point at half time. Kilmaine had done so much right up to that point.
Yeah, Norman O'Brien had his team. They were doing everything right. The only thing that was going to catch them here was maybe a bit of complacency, and I think that may have dripped. They did expend a lot of energy in the first half, though. We cannot deny that. There was an awful lot of harassing and tackling done by the Kilmaine lads, and maybe they just ran out of steam in the end. But that's really where it was for me, anyway.
Okay, well, I think while that presentation is going on, we might just get Creevy to have a quick look, and Joe and Stephen as well, at Michael Coleman's goal, Michael Coleman's goal, which was so important. So we'll bring that up.
It didn't look like there was an awful lot on there, Liam. You see the Kilmaine lads, or
we'll see a bit more of it, perhaps. I'd say just to get a bit. We'll just see a bit more of it in a moment. Yeah, it was kind of out of nothing, you felt, Stephen.
They were kind of standing off and being well disciplined there. They weren't going to put in the hand and give away the handy free, and that's what it looked like. They'd be looking for to get a handy free maybe, or a point at that stage. But the boys had the imagination to keep the head up and give the killer pass. And I think it was Michael Coleman that got it in the end. He wasn't going to be asked twice. Great finish.
Yeah. That'll be celebrated, Creevy.
Yeah, that'll be watched again throughout.
Wear that one out.
I think so. Yeah, thank God it's online and won't be seeing any damage. We watched throughout the parish. For the next few years, decades. People still talk about the final in '85. We lost to Isle Lady. This one will be remembered for a long time to come. One of the most important goal in Lahardane McHale's history. There, scored by Michael Coleman, and an incredible moment.
And a wonderful development, of course, now as well, is that there are provincial championships in these competitions. Back when you were winning them, Joe, there was no provincial championship, I think.
No, it was just Mayo. It was a knockout, and this Lahardane team will go a long way in the Connacht Championship, and I'd expect them to go on. And there's no reason why they couldn't win it.
Yeah, the journey's not over yet. Mayo teams have a great record in this competition.
They have indeed, and outside of Kerry, the junior championship in Mayo is a hard-won competition, and that game out there today just proved it.
I think the point should be made, Joe, that the standard of football was very high there today.
It was a great game of football from start to finish. Okay, there was a spell that there was a lot of fouling around the middle of the field there, but there was great scores. The frees on both sides were excellent free takers, and there was great scores there all day.
Yeah, as I said, we're on Facebook Live as well to get a better view of those presentations. Unfortunately, we're getting a rear view of them, but Facebook Live will capture those memories as well, and lots of cameras flashing down there too. The Lahardane crowd really enjoying this one. They came with a late burst. They've won the Breaffy House Resort and Spa Mayo Junior Championship for 2017 for the very first time. They have won this, and they are going to celebrate it. The other game today, the minor title, went to the outsiders as well. Balla defeating Westport, and we had a shock last night with Kilmaine defeating Breaffy. And in the other one, semi-final or quarter-final of the senior championship last night, Ballinrobe didn't have it all their own way against Hollymount Carramore. A draw there. So a very lively weekend, Stephen, in the Mayo club scene.
Yeah, a lot of upsets. Ballina, Carrymore, great result today against Ballina, and Breaffy will be really scratching their heads about after that result there last night. Well played, Clare Morris. That's a great semi-final for them to be looking forward to. I see John Mahan there just making his way up the podium. He's going to be really, really proud of this performance now from his Lahardane charges.
Yeah, there he is, accepting the congratulations down in the field, John Mahan. And he'll be a proud man. His mother's from Lahardane, across Ballina is his home club, of course. but a man who took up coaching and management at a very young age when his own career was cut short, and guided Clare to the 1992 Munster football title, guided Mayo in 96 and 97 and 2004, defeated the All-Ireland champions in Tuam Stadium in 99, the wet day, when Mayo took down Galway. So he's got a very impressive CV to his name. This one seems to mean a lot to him, Caoimhín, though. He spoke about his mother's people, all of that, coming from Lahardane. His brother is chairman of the club. His nephew is the goal-scoring full forward.
Yeah, no, it means a lot to him. And, you know, when John Maughan gets involved in a team, he doesn't do it half-heartedly. So he brought so much passion, so much positivity and excitement to the club this year. You know, thank God it's borne fruit. You know, it's an exciting time, first time in the club's history to win a county championship, and to have somebody like John Maughan at the helm, it meant an awful lot, and it's an incredibly important factor in the reason why we're celebrating this victory at this moment in time.
Most clubs have a tradition when they win something, what they do with the cup, where they bring it. You'll have to start with today, Caoimhín. What are you proposing?
I wouldn't like to make any proposals as of yet. I'm sure plenty of the players down there have a lot of ideas in mind. It'll be a great boost to the economic.
Even it might collapse the economy, for God's sake.
Well, it might.
Nationally, I mean.
It might be a boost to the two pubs, Murphy's and Leonard's in Lahardane, and it'll certainly be a great night tonight. A lot of excitement. There was talk of this game being shown as on the big screen as a replay down in the village later on this evening. So I'm sure anybody is welcome to watch that one back.
I'll put it up to us now technologically.
So the time is on to you now. You know, you may be disappointing a few people, but even if that doesn't transpire, it's still going to be a great night, and one that this team who are lying down there, you know, enjoying the celebrations, are going to enjoy all the way through the night.
Yes, indeed. Stephen Carlin, your final thoughts?
No, I just Joe alluded to the first goal there from James Maughan, which was a very important one. When he took up the ball there, it didn't look like it. Certainly, goal wasn't what I was thinking anyway. I thought, take your point here, and steady it down. But he had the confidence to go by 2 men, I think it was, and pick the top corner with the left foot, very composed off both feet. Rare enough thing at any level of football, never mind junior football, to be composed on both feet. So I think when they're watching that one out tonight on the big screen, they're going to take a lot of enjoyment out of it.
Thank you, Stephen. Joe, that's a great attitude for any player. Both feet, he comes at you, you're not sure which way he's going to go.
Yes, you know, it's a big advantage when you have both feet. You know, you're never stuck in if you're covered on one side. You know that you can turn to the other side. Again, a great game of football today, and you know, congratulations to Lahardane. We'll be disappointed in Kilmaine, but you know, by Loyola.
By Loyola. Gurmina Mahagat, Joe. Gurmina Mahagat. And we'll end the coin on Roosterman, Cá Wilshe. I can't see him. He shouldn't be hard to see now. They're singing Champione, Champione. Caoimhín, go down there and find a few Lahardane supporters who'll keep it sober for us there. Don't bring up any wild ones now. A few quiet ones, Caoimhín. Off he goes, trying to get a few supporters. It's Lahardane's day, and they are going to enjoy this one, as I said. I think John Maughan is in our list. I see him moving this way now. Hopefully Desi Campbell is Joe, thank you very much, Joe. Star of so many great Kilmaine days. Joe McGrath seemed to play forever in the Kilmaine colours and was as good at the finish as he was at the start. An incredible eye and nose for goal. John Maughan down there accepting the congratulations of so many people. He's got outside the pitch. He's into our zone of the pitch, Tom. But he's been caught. But Desi's loitering with intent.
He is indeed. He had him caught. He had him cornered, but there was the pull of the media was too great. He had to have the obligatory team photo, and the players wanted him in the photo. So he's making his way up here. And if there was ever any embodiment of what a physical specimen should look like at a
leave it out, John. Leave it out, Tom. Leave it out.
As we said in the commentary, Jim McConnelly has nothing on John Maughan.
Yeah. Well, here he comes, John Maughan, while his players go through their celebrations. The man who has guided Lahardane to their first ever Mayo Junior football title. And those of us who were here last Sunday gave them a very strong chance because they played very clever football last Sunday. They played really good stuff, and today, particularly in the second half, they came very, very good. John, congratulations first of all.
Thanks, William. Yeah,
that was a sweet one for you.
Very, very. I mean, to win it, we were 6 points down in the second half, but to win it at the death like that, give them no opportunity for Kilmaine to get back at us, and I think they deserved it. Our boys deserved it. They refused to lose. I thought they were manly, go down the home stretch, great energy, tough battle, but and great respect for Kilmaine. yeah, I'm sure they thought they had it in the bag, but I'm just thrilled to bits for Lahardane. It's great to see them winning their first adult title in their history, you know.
It's not so often you see something like that.
Well, I mean, you can see there the scenes down there on the pitch. You know, guys there with their families and wives and girlfriends and mothers and fathers. It's nice. That's a nice part of the GA, yeah.
A few years ago, the Neil had the same experience winning their first junior title. Yes. Some parallels, Shawnee Cosgrove's late goal back then. Now, they went to a replay, right. But you came with the burst at the right time. Kilmaine kept coming at you, though. There was an ever-present danger of an equaliser there for a while.
There was, but again, you know, we had wise heads back there as well. Barry Leonard is a very, very astute reader of the game, and I always felt more comfortable when he was back there. He did a fantastic job on one of their big danger men. But yeah, they show great heart and character. And I was at that Neil game. In fact, I was in Kong for the afters party purely by coincidence, and something similar will happen in Lahardane tonight.
You won't be in Kong tonight, John.
I know something similar will happen down in Lahardane tonight. But yeah, it's great. I think this team, with the boys I'm managing here, they've been very good throughout the year and playing intermediate league. You know, they've won some great close battles, and I just have to say I'm very happy.
Okay, John, we'll enjoy the celebrations and well done. Thank you very much. I know Lahardane people are very grateful to you. Chris Rowland, with maybe some energy left after that. I don't know if you could or not, but
all right.
Yeah, fantastic.
Fantastic performance. The lads really deserve it. Like, we've been junior for so long and so many heartaches, losing semi-finals and quarter-finals, and to finally do it is it's an unbelievable feeling, to be honest. Unbelievable.
Why today? Why did it happen today?
A lot of factors. John himself really had us up for it all year, driving us on. Savage commitment all year from 1 to 25 to 30. How many was there ever in the panel?
28, I think.
28, and just everyone driving each other on. Honest hard work and commitment. It's just fantastic, and you can't get any better than that. Like.
And Kilmaine really tested your pulse right to the very end.
100%. They're a fantastic team. They've been here. They've just down from intermediate there a few years ago, and look, they're a great team. I'm sure next year they'll be back in a final and probably win it, in fairness.
I was watching some of your supporters here. They went through the ringer, completely through the ringer there, as balls were being spilled near the end and everything. Maybe as players sometimes you're not conscious of that, but there was incredible drama there.
Yeah, you're not really conscious of it on the field. You can hear the roaring and cheering and everything, but I kind of bypassed you a bit, but there was spills and trails. Look, it's just a fantastic occasion, and great to see so many fans and young kids out, and that breeds the next generation of footballers.
Okay, who's coming up to us next year? Queeveen has fished out somebody.
Yeah, we've gone down to the crowd. It's, the entire population of Lahardane seems to be on McHale Park at the moment in time. I'll just call over Dr. Paul Nolan, the local GP.
Oh, yes, indeed. Dr. Nolan, indeed, yeah.
Paul, a few words just to say on how...
He's done work on the Lahardane Titanic Memorial and that kind of thing. There was a Titanic struggle. Just stand out this way here towards the camera. There was to use a cliche, a Titanic struggle there today.
Right, yeah. It was. I never saw the second half because we had a blood injury, a really bad blood injury. Brought him into the dressing room and spent a half an hour putting him back together again, Humpty Dumpty style. And he wants to go back on, of course, but he says, no, you can't go on. You've had a concussion, you have a wound, and it has to be fixed up for it. So we missed the whole half.
Okay, well, you'll enjoy seeing it because they did you proud. They were fantastic.
I was actually training them in 1988. I started on all the under 10 kids in Lahardane. They had a gap, but we hadn't a junior, a juvenile structure. I started off that years and years ago, and that's the team there. Yes. That's most of them are there now and that.
So you must be very proud of them.
Yeah. The older boys now, the old lads are going to drift away. They are the guys that all training me. And it was lovely to see them out there finally getting something that's worth its weight in gold.
Yes.
A junior county champion is classic to have.
And both last Sunday and today in the two big games, they played good football.
Yeah,
I know you didn't see the good stuff today, but
I didn't see that, and I was disheartened in the dressing room where I heard that we got a goal and then we got another goal. I said, that's brilliant. And it was great to see them coming back. That makes it a victory so much better when you're having a dreadful first half, dreadful first 10 minutes, second half, and then suddenly it all flows back against poor old Kilmaine. Yes. And to get over the bar by 1 point. Yes. It's beautiful to that. That's a glorious win.
Yes. Well, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks,
and enjoy. So yeah, Lahardane, of course, had a big, unfortunately, big representation on the Titanic when it went down, and they have remembered that story in Buffenon and Lahardane in recent years, and they have done commemorations and they have kept the flag flying in that regard. But tonight it's about joy. It's not a sad story at all for Lahardane tonight. They have the Pete McDonald Junior Trophy, the Mayo Junior Championship Trophy, in their grasp for the very first time. And that's what makes a day like today so special. We have 2 fans from Lahardane here. Come here and say hello to us.
Hello.
Tell us your names.
Luke and Finton.
Luke and Finton who?
I'm Luke, and my second name's Jordan. My second name's my first name's Finton and my second name's Wipe.
Right, well, no one is going to see you if you don't come out a bit here, Finton. Give a wave to the camera there. And say up Lahardane. No, not a bit tongue-tied now, yeah? Back to me a little bit again now. There you are. Give a big wave to the camera. No. Okay, we have another supporter coming through here as well. Who's this?
Chloe.
Chloe. You're very happy, Chloe.
Yeah.
Who's your favourite player now?
I don't know.
They're all your favourite players today, Chloe. Well done. Enjoy the night, Chloe. Fair play. Thank you very much. So I think we might have fished out all we're going to fish out, and we will leave Lahardane to their celebrations for the remainder of the evening. A word for Kilmaine, a team who have unfortunately enjoyed very poor luck and very poor outcomes in finals in recent years. They played really good football in the first half, as Stephen said, did everything right in the first half and for quite a bit of the second half as well. But Lahardane came with that late, powerful surge to claim the day. The 2 goals by Coleman and Mahon proving decisive, and Kilmaine are the unfortunate victims of that rally from Lahardane. As we come to a close here at Elvery's McHale Park, and we look back on a great day of football, a great win for Balla in the minor final, defeating Westport, who were the favourites. Lahardane in the junior final, defeating the favourites Kilmaine. Another dramatic day here at Elvery's McHale Park on Mayo GAA TV. I'd like to thank a few people. First of all, Tom Carney, our match commentator, Ariadna Gomez Kelly, who was involved in our backup, IT backup, Brendan Dowd, our editor, to Paula Ballester Murat, our camera woman and social media, to Conor Dowd, our head of camera department, to Liam Hindley, social media and broadcast assistant, to our director, the man who always gets his man when he goes down onto the field, Desi Campbell, flanked by Liam Hindley in those roles, to our match analyst, Stephen Carolan, to our co-commentators, Joe McGrath and Kevin Rowland in the second game. In the first game, Jerry Costello from Balla, and the Westport representative, and great to see him back playing again, Kevin Kane. With that, we'll archive this game as soon as we can on MayoGATV.com. Thank you.